Hello, everyone, and welcome to my once weekly show. My name is Michelle Marie, and I am both a Vedic astrologer and tarot and oracle card reader. And I am so excited to have my lovely husband on with me today, Jonathan. Welcome, Jonathan. So we have
Oh, go ahead. Oh, just hi all.
we have to go back and forth with our microphones because we live in the same apartment, so that's what's going on there. But we're really excited to do your guys' questions today and see what's kind of going on there. Hey, good to see you, Jeff. Welcome. Good to see you. And Chu is here. It's lovely to see you, Chu. And Aaron, I got your tip. You were first in line. It is lovely to see you, Aaron. Jonathan, we'll go ahead and get you in the queue there. But yeah, we had anything happen recently, guys. So before I get into questions, I'm just going to give you all just a little bit of a disclaimer. We're all feeling a little off today. Okay. We had something big happen. And I encourage you all to reach out to your friends, to your family, to the people in your life that you care about, especially if they're in the LGBTQ community, if they are looking to have or not have children, if they are disabled or elderly and reliant on things like Medicare and those types of services, Social Security, that kind of thing. Really, give them a call. Let them know that you're there for them. Try to be a support system because we need that more than ever. Okay. Good to see you, Risa. Oh, welcome back, sweetie. Oh, thank you for that lovely comment. We appreciate you. And Heather, it is so lovely to see you. Congratulations on your new deck. It is absolutely beautiful. And James, it is good to see you again. Nice to see you, Gems Med 4. And I'm noticing that some of us didn't see it in the cards, but it's still sad. Well, I'm gonna do an add a girl and an add a boy for all of our readers in the community because I have been very busy the last 2 weeks. One of the busiest times in my work tends to be around Halloween, but it was really busy this time of year. So I noticed that the last 2 weeks I was getting cards that pointed toward a flip. Now, I shared what I was seeing on Sherry's show 2 weeks ago. I had her on the show, and some of you were so upset with me that you went to other readers' channels and they actually emailed me or spoke to me in person. And so I did not share any more political readings with you guys. But I did say in that one reading that Project 25 was going to go forward. The eclipse on April 8th that we had in America was going to cause a major shift regardless of who the president was. I did not continue that because it upset so many of you that my email blew up. So I all I ask is during this show, because we're in a very different time now, we're not really sure what kind of rights we're going to have in the next year, whether we're going to be able to participate in some of these activities. So I think it's really important for us to come together and to offer comfort and to help each other out. Who do I think is responsible for the win? Elon Musk. I looked at his chart this afternoon. He got Trump into the White House. So I was looking at J.D. Vance, I was looking at Kamala Harris, I was looking at Donald Trump, and I was looking at America's chart. When I was, America's chart's not great. She's in full Sati Sati right now. It's the same moon as me. To let you know what's going on in our lives, we lost our house. We were burglarized after we moved. And we're dealing with a lot of things like hell on earth kind of stuff. So I knew something bad was going to happen. I just didn't know exactly. I couldn't pinpoint it right away. Or good, depending on where you're, because there are 72 million people who do think that this is a very good thing to have happen. But Elon Musk he's a miracle worker, you guys. What he was able to do was Olympian level at the end there. But it wasn't until 2 weeks ago that I started getting cards that were pointing in the other direction. But I do not participate in political shows for that reason. So they were correct up until the nominee changed and the Republicans took a different campaign track. So if you are comfortable with the idea of Project 2025, if you are comfortable with the idea of some of the things that are coming out of the presidency moving forward, then you're good. There are 72 million people that agree with you. If you're uncomfortable because of either your gender status or who you are as a person or your ideologies, things like that, I highly recommend you look at your options, contact your friends and family, and be a support for one another. As an add-on to my site, I went ahead and included astrocartography. I announced this last week when I really saw a lot of ninth house placement cards coming out of Marina's show. I was like, looks like a lot of us are going to possibly look into moving. And I got third house of communications in almost every single reading. So I set up an astrocartography page. You guys can click on that, and I reduced my rates. So it says 15 minutes on there, but it can go longer. It's just enough time to really go through the best place in the world for you if you don't feel that the current place that you're living will support your lifestyle. So I hope that was helpful, guys. I'm sending you lots of love and lots of comfort as we kind of move through these tumultuous times. Elon actually said that we are going to be headed for some difficulties. So we need to really, really help each other as we move through those things. And I'm here if you need to contact me. So Jonathan, do you have anything to add to that?
Just messing with the tech here. Everything that's been going through my head recently, I recognize is kind of a quote from older books. And the one that happened yesterday, among others, was "We live in dangerous times." And they just got more dangerous because I can't describe what happened. There was some machinations that went on, but I know it when I see it, And one of the things that we saw that kind of was almost accidentally on the screen. I'm not going to mention any names except for Trump and Kamala, but someone came running out on the stage just as Trump was warming up, jumped about 10 feet in the air, ran over, said something in his ear, and Trump's demeanor changed. And then he announced that he was happy that they won. And I've been here for a minute, and I've been involved in one way or another with virtually every presidential candidate since the 70s when I became able to vote. And I've never seen anything like these last two presidential campaigns. They don't resemble, forget presidential campaigns, they don't resemble anything. They don't resemble commercial enterprises. That it's anyway. Just in my own sort of born in Arkansas, got my ear to the ground kind of thing. I can't tell you what happened, but something happened. It didn't feel right. It didn't smell right. And again, to beat this to death to this old country boy, it ain't right. Something just wasn't right about that. The TV announcers were all nervous. They were all like, "Oh, we can't say anything yet. Oh, no, they're still counting. They're still counting." I remember results night after results night after. Oh, Alaska's in. Okay, so many for this person, so many for that person. Maybe that happened last night. I didn't see it. It was like nothing was announced. A state here, a little bit here, a little bit there. It wasn't the sort of constant stream of, okay, this region of this state is in, and boom, this person's ahead. It was just all of a sudden, bang, he won. Now, I'll admit I didn't see every moment of every second of all the results because honestly, I didn't want to put myself or Michelle through that because this whole thing has just been like watching two enemies do surgery on each other, by that I mean the candidates. It's again just from an old Arkansas standpoint, I can't tell you what was wrong and I can't tell you what was rotten, but I know something was rotten wrong, and we have to live with the results. So let's as Heather says, hoping our move next year helps us stay safe. I think we all hope to let's say, I'll paraphrase it a little bit, move into next year and we'll all be safe, because I think that's at risk now. If the election process has been corrupted or figured out, opened up, made available, then everybody's at risk, not just everybody in the United States, but everybody worldwide, because the United States is one of the several countries in the world that can end the world. And the fact that I'm living in the United States and I've been here my entire life makes me preferential to the United States, but I'm not loyal if what I saw last night is our present and our future. I would be loyal in the sense of not being a traitor to it, but I would not stand there to support it. So right now I'm on the fence with my hand on the gate, trying to decide, stay in the yard or get out of the yard here in the diatribe. Oh,
Okay, so that was Jonathan's take. You guys are bringing some really good comments here. Pluto and Aquarius bringing the heat. Hope everyone is okay. Rose Blue, we completely agree with you. This was literally not last minute stuff that happened. Kamala was pretty last minute, and what they did with what Elon did was very last minute. It was genius. It really was, and it's going to give them the that extra bit. Okay. Rose Blue, we are right there with you. I'll go ahead and get you in the queue for a reading. And you, oh, Heather, I'm so sorry to see that. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are going to suffer, unfortunately, if they lose Social Security. I'm really praying that they don't take it and that they were just threatening, but yeah. Okay. Yes, Pluto and Aquarius bringing the heat. And yeah, I did announce that it was going to happen because after I saw we had the eclipse in Barani, and that's what ended Roe v. Wade. And then before that, we had the coronavirus. That was a stellium eclipse, and that was on the ascendant of America, which killed over 1 million people. This is the worst one I've seen in a while. That was the April 8th one, and I just went there. I know even if she's elected or she's not elected, even though her chart did look pretty dang good. And this is across the Vedic community, the Western community. They're just going, wait a minute. There was a third party that came in from the side at the last minute and really made this happen. And he got all the credit on stage. So that's how we kind of knew it was. I got the Knight of Wands for that energy. So it was coming in from the side, in addition to the Ace of Cups reversed, which was the Kamala loss. That's just telling you guys what I read last week. I couldn't share it with you guys before because I was told to stay quiet. So I got the Ace of Cups reversed, and then I got the Ten of Swords. And then I got the Tower, and then I got the Knight of Wands coming into the dynamic to change everything. So that was what caused it. It was a genius coming in and taking care of stuff. So yeah, so our hearts go out to you guys. We're sending you tons and tons of love as you kind of deal with some of this stuff. Yeah, the Pluto and Aquarius, we can see that in the Western community. It's in about 5 to 6 degrees of Capricorn in the Vedic because we have a little bit difference of a system, but that takes place in the banking systems of the United States. The eclipses are now going to hit becoming eclipses in 2025. They're going to hit the United States 3rd house and 9th house. Now, the 3rd house rules our communications, okay? It also rules journalism. Who do you think the first people to go under fire are going to be? So if you're in journalism, you know a journalist, get around them, support them, especially if they're not. Yeah. Okay. Good to see you, Lightfoot. I went ahead and got your question in. Rose Blue, yes. And thank you for telling me I was authentic, Heather. That was very sweet of you. Yeah, so yeah, we've got a lot going on, guys. Good to see you, Rachel. It was nice chatting with you the other day. Oh yeah, we have a lot of Republicans in the family, in our communities. I mean, apparently there's more them than Democrats that were willing to come out. So yeah, it's a sad party. My main thing is I'm not sure if I'm going to have to start taking down videos. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to start protecting us because we don't know how far the free speech is going to go. Are they going to retrograde that? What was it? Retroactive. Retroactive is the term I'm looking for. Anyone who said anything that was not perfect, are they going to have their channels taken down? We don't really know how that's going to look. I hope it just doesn't become violent. So, oh, I'm glad that you were with your mom and you told her not to panic. That's good. We really need to. Good to see you, Moonfox Night. We really need to get around each other. And I'm so sorry, Rachel, that you, oh, sweetie, I'm sending you lots of hugs. Lucy, it's good to see you. The lovely Cowbell is here. It is lovely to see you, Cowbell. We're sending you lots of hugs post-birthday. I hope it was fabulous. I'm so jealous of your delicious pretzels. Oh yeah, I was just giving a little bit of a disclaimer as to kind of what we saw yesterday. And is there a possibility that the truth will be revealed as the counts are recounted? Well, I will go ahead and pull some cards on that, Gerald. Okay. Me too, except both towers. So that's what was the water sign. Elon, June, late June birthday. Oh, okay. And I believe Donald Trump is a June birthday as well. Okay. Oh, and power grid. Oh, power grids and journalists. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing because the third house is the house of communications. That's how we do this, guys. So we might have to go private. We might have to go members only. We might have to pick another forum where we can safely do this. Just to let you know, because I was getting cards on this about a month ago, Jonathan's finger might be on the button, but mine is not. So I'm leaving. So, yeah, Judy, it is lovely to see you. And okay, I will go ahead and put you in the queue. Oh, thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a lot of, I gave a reading. They didn't like it. I let my grouchy Fauci out of the lab. That's what happens when I find stuff in astrology that I don't like, or my cards that I can't really see. And I looked at Elon Musk's chart. I looked at my cards and I went, he's going to win the presidential election for Donald Trump. And I had to keep quiet for a week. It sucked, but actually 2 weeks. And just kind of smile because I didn't want to upset anybody. Yeah, people are going dark. So if you guys see videos are missing, if you see that I might be more private, if you notice that other people that were very vocal regarding this is not a political channel, but some people in our community have political channels, and the stuff that came out of those could lead to persecution in the future. So it's important that we look at that. Oh, Substack, okay. Yeah, imagine serving under him in the army. That's interesting, Rachel. That's something to think about. Good to have you back, Rose Blue. And I am accepting super chats. You were in the queue, Rhoda. Thank you so much for your question. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a quick transit that's coming up to encourage you. This is a good one. We have Venus in Sagittarius, and that's going to go on until December 2nd, 2024. So this is all about a love for adventure, learning, spiritual connections, and travel, especially long distance travel, because that's what Jupiter rules. So over the next few months, you might be considering looking at your assets and looking at places where you can feel optimistic about your future, your relationships, your finances. Don't make any impulsive decisions that can lead to instability. So if you're looking at visas, if you're looking at other things, especially if you get an astrocartography reading from me, I can give you guys some pointers on what's out there right now, especially for Americans. There are places that don't even require you to have a visa. You just show up with your passport, things like that. But collectively, this is going to be about freedom. It's going to be about open-mindedness and philosophical pursuits. So for the next month, energy is going to be supporting us, guys. Venus is in Gandanta until the 8th, so don't make any big decisions before then. Saturn is going to go direct on between the 14th and the 16th of November. That's when we're going to have more clarity as to what's going to happen. Okay. We can chant Venus's mantra, which is Om Shukraya Namaha. And that can offer us more balance during this time, or we can wear yellow sapphire or citrine to enhance our joy and enhance wisdom as well, because we're going to need that moving forward. And herbal remedies like turmeric and saffron can promote more vitality if you're feeling a little, especially as the weather is getting colder. And just this is a time for exploring new horizons, okay, with a grounded and wise approach, and really, really focused toward love and prosperity for each other. I mean, I want you to imagine if you got a bunch of people together and you got all of your assets together and you found a place to live and have a community that worked, where you felt safe and supported and you didn't have to worry about what you said like 5 years ago, or what you look like, or who you love. Okay, so this is Spirit is literally asking us and giving us the opportunity to expand right now as people and as souls. So I hope that you all take advantage of that. So, oh, I hope you're able to visit. Oh, you don't have a passport. I would definitely get either a passport or a passport card. I know that in Washington State, where we are, as of May, we are going to, of 2025, in order to get on a plane and go from state to state, you need a passport or a passport card. So that's something you might want to look into. Oh, I'm so sorry about that, Rose Blue. Whew, yeah, it's the energies for sure. Okay, you got it, Lightfoot. I love freedom as well. We are all about that. So I'm going to go ahead and get your questions in, and I'll go ahead and name the first three. It's going to be Aaron Whitefoot, and then Rhoda, and then Lightfoot. So if you guys are here, go ahead and check in, and then I'm going to go ahead and get to your questions. So it's so lovely to have you all here. I'm very thankful for this community, and we're sending you lots of love and peace and comfort as we kind of go through this energy. It's difficult, and it's very sudden. So now, just to let you guys know, Jonathan does not use cards, but he does ask questions. And so if you are in the chat, you're going to need to interact with him a little bit, because that's how he reads as a reader, okay? And Lucy, I'll go ahead and get your question in. Oh, general reading from your guides. You got it, Aaron. Very cool. Okay. So, and Jonathan, you can go at any time. I'm just going to be pulling some cards for Aaron here. Okay. Ooh.
Well, Aaron, I think I've said this before. I'm a great fan of your videos. I've never seen more action in videos that were scripted and shot by Hollywood than in your videos, tearing down the slopes to get, you see a pole bending, you know there's food on there for someone in your tribe. You got to go get that thing, and you wrestle it to shore, and the next there's another one down the way, or you're in a boat and you're throwing out a net and you're practically jumping into the water with the net and swimming down to where the fish are. And you may be doing that. It's hard to get that on camera. But your energy and your expression of life is not just admirable, it is staggeringly significant, at least in my life, because I see you doing this to obviously feed your family and your tribe and other people, and maybe there's a little bit left over that you can, smoke and sell someplace. But the 10 miles a day, yeah, averaging 10 a day, yeah. Well, the upside is, if what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and it's making you stronger. So we are fans of your videos, so we appreciate you posting those. I think I might have mentioned this before. My late partner was helped a lot of the Indian tribes in the Pacific Northwest, because the government has stipends that they sort of try to pay out to the tribe unless they're 30 minutes late on answering a question on a form that's 300 pages long, and then they cut off everything. So my wife specialized in answering those questions and getting the form in before the government could cut off the funding to the tribe that they were owed legitimately without the form. So I do have some idea of what the tribes in the Pacific Northwest, particularly, and the Northwest, I should say, go through. I'm feeling that this kind of links into the political stuff that we're going through. The government of the United States is still ticked off about how they have to continue to collaborate, let's call it. I would say fight, but it's supposed to be collaborative with the tribes in not just the Northwest, but nationally. I think it's going to get worse. And the reason I think it's going to get worse is because of who was just elected and what happened under his care. So this is not so much a prediction as a recollection, because I remember my late wife struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling, going to Washington, spending weeks at a time, going in and talking to Congress people for $75,000 annual stipend for a tribe. You know, for her to talk to a congressional aide for an hour cost the government more than $75,000, I'm sure. So I'm hoping that, you know, the best case would be that the Trump administration would decide, let's do something that makes us look good, like maybe honor our agreement with the tribes, you know, nationally or the South or West or whatever. I don't think that's going to happen because I don't think they're worried about looking good, but fingers crossed. But I'll tell you something again. I see you working out there. I know that you know other people in your tribe who are working as hard as you're working. The entire tribe is working as hard as you are working. And that's what has kept you alive and thriving and on this continent for millennia. So I'll say this as not a tribal member, but as a European immigrant. You may be here after we're gone, because the way we're headed, it's not good. By we, I mean the, you know, occupation culture. So keep doing what you're doing because it's keeping you and your folks alive. And thanks for letting us know.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. You were right on par with my card, sweetie. So, and yes, we are married, Lucy. We've been married. It'll be, oh gosh, on the 11th, it'll be 9 years, sweetie. Can you believe that? We were friends for 15, so yeah, actually almost 16. We've been friends for a long time. Oh my goodness. I always say the creator doesn't put a lot of weight on one's shoulders if they are weak. Got to stay strong. That is beautiful, Aaron. I love that. It is wonderful to see you, Miss Tarodi. That is very inspirational. So keep that in mind as I give you your reading, okay? All right. Thank you, Lucy. I think he's adorable. All right. So I got Gemini in the 12th house. The 12th house is all about spirituality. The Gemini is all about the tribe, community, neighbors come together and they want you to do a spiritual ceremony with a shaman in your area. You have a very magical person in your tribe that can work their magic to bring good energy toward everyone. And that's who they showed me could bring more of a positive shift toward some of the energies that I see coming your way. The reason I say that was I got the South Node in the sun. This is an eclipsed sun. And when Jonathan was talking about what you can expect as a tribe, you're going to need to protect your land, okay? Your land, your resources, and your fishing rights, okay? Those are things that you're going to need to come together and really try to protect, all right? Because that area is about to become eclipsed. That means eclipses aren't good things, okay? It's a Ketu level, so it's a detachment, okay? It can take away things. So really, I know that you're very involved and you're very strong. So we're there with you, okay? This is what I see coming. All right. I got injustice because I got justice reversed. I got that it's really going to flip you a little upside down. This tells me that you're a very empathic person and you have a very beautiful heart, okay? But this is really it's going to mess with you a little bit, okay? Because there's going to be some disappointments, okay? So what this tells me is this is my card for just, oh gosh, what's the best way of saying this? For disappointment, rejection, insecurity, maybe a little depression, some setbacks, but it's asking you to let go, okay? So you looks like you're not a half glass empty guy, you're a half glass full guy. So that's going to be really helpful toward really encouraging people as we move forward. So even in times of disenchantment, they're telling me that your attitude can really make the difference and turn things around, which I think is really beautiful. And that's what you can offer others, your neighbors, your friends. It's important to understand that this disillusionment that's going on is a natural part of life, and it shouldn't prevent you from finding that beautiful, true happiness and fulfillment that can be there for you. Fear of failure, they're saying, will hold you back from taking chances that can improve your life and the life of your tribe. And if that's put in place, you're going to thrive. You're going to make it through this. So just work on letting go of disappointment, and really looking after each other during this time. There is a magic worker in your area, because I got Saint Germain, okay, and it says work your magic, and I got that there was someone in the tribe that could have some kind of spiritual ceremony to uplift all of the spirits there, and maybe call in the ancestors for help, okay? because your land is at risk, dear. All right. And I'm not just saying that. It's like Jonathan did it. I pulled a card on it and it was confirmed. Okay. So survey maybe where you can jump and still fish and make a living for yourself and protect your loved ones. Okay, sweetie. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that, honey. Oh, and I was traveling to Forks in the Maka tribe when I did my presentations. That's beautiful. And so far, I haven't worried about failing and you let go this morning. Okay, that's wonderful, Erin. You know, you have a beautiful, beautiful, positive spirit, and that's really going to make a difference for a lot of the energies going on right now. So we hope that was helpful, sweetie, and thank you for joining us. We're really rooting for you, and we'll make sure to follow those beautiful videos that you're creating and share them with others because they're a hoot, you guys. Aaron White, but I'll put him up again. Here he is. Follow his channel. He's got beautiful, beautiful videos. He lives on just an incredible area. So, well, thank you for sitting and listening, Risa. We really appreciate that. And it's lovely to see. Yeah, I love you, Mr. Rodi. It's so great to see you here. And let's see. Oh, wow. 53 years. Congratulations, Rose Blue. That's huge. Yay. I love hearing that. And thank you, Mr. Rodi. I really love this guy. We've been together for a bit, so this is awesome. And welcome to the live, Delphi. It is lovely to see you. And Emily, I went ahead and put your question in the queue. All right. So let's see. Oh, Keith is here. Yes, Keith, go ahead and ask your question, and Jonathan will put you on the list. Yes, and we really appreciate you too, Erin. Yeah, this is all about coming together. I got 3rd and 9th house on Marina's show all last week, and I kept going, you guys, it's not looking good. Something's going on. So we need to come together and like band together. So we got this. So thank you, Rachel. You're so sweet. And you lit a 4-day candle last night. That's beautiful. Yeah, we need the light right now. I love that. Thank you so much for doing that, Rose Blue. Okay, and I got your question, Rachel. You got it. You got it. So our next one is Rhoda. Let me go ahead and put Rachel in here. And if we miss you, let us know because Jonathan's giving readings and he's having to tag your questions at the same time. So Care Bear Bar to the cards. Lovely to see you. Okay, Keith, I'll go ahead and get you in the queue. Thank you for your question. All right. So here we go. The next one is Rhoda. Let me find your question. If it's Rhoda, let me know. If I say it wrong, I apologize if I did. What's coming this month for me? Okay. So do you want me to just kind of do an overall general and then you want to tap in, Jonathan, or how do you want to read? Okay, sounds good. I figured that's how you wanted to work. Okay, it's regarding your 9th house of travel. This is a stalker card. The last 2 weeks, all of my readings involved these 9th house cards, whether people bought a Vedic reading or they bought a tarot reading. It was like 9th house, 9th house, 9th house. That's the house of travel. Oh, okay. We've got a lot of cards here. Oh, and there will be travel in your future. Okay. And it's going to bring you a lot of transformation. And it's going to help you with you're going to have to really look at your savings account. It's going to help you with the savings and your career. Okay. So 9th house, that's all about travel. Okay. So maybe looking into that. Rahu, which is, it's a big yes card. Okay. They're saying yes, yes, yes. There's a lot of transformation coming. So prepare for that. And you're going to need to keep your savings account in mind and any career possibilities in mind when making this big move. All right. Almost everybody has this. It's like every reading, you guys, for the last 2 weeks, I'm getting cards like that. So that's why I said if we come together as a community and we share things, Jonathan and I are already pretty much, we're not going to be here in 2025. We planned this a month ago. So if you need any, I've got my astrocartography link up. If you need any advice, I'm your girl. Okay. It's on my website. Yeah, they're saying go out and socialize. I got the Hermit reversed. So pick up the phone, send those emails, have a big Zoom meeting. I actually thought about maybe organizing a Zoom with all of the readers in the community to just kind of talk about rights and what kind of videos we might have to take down and things like that, because there's a new sheriff in town and the sheriff doesn't like it when he's disagreed with. So there's a lot of that going on. Okay. Yeah. And then this is what we're seeing. So you're going to have to start defending yourself, defending your beliefs. as you start making some of these changes. There might be some pushback, okay, because there are 72 million people in the United States that think that this is a wonderful idea. But despite that, they're asking you to walk away, literally walk away. Don't stop and look at the cups and spend too much time going through the garbage. Literally, that's what they're asking you to do, okay? If you are happy here and you don't have plans to move, then there you go. But I'm getting that when you start to reach out a little more to those friends and things, that you're going to be running into some of that. So I'm going to go ahead and give Jonathan the floor. And oh, good to see you, Shawana. Welcome. Mary Adams, I got your question. Good to see you, Rooted Willow. I got your question. And Laura, okay, I will go and get your question. And thank you for, yes, thank you for the like button comments. Indigo, Jaguar, Miss Heather. Okay. Oh, and you guys, so another thing to keep in mind is the United States is 248 years old and the Pluto return is 248 years. That's Yama, that's the god of death. So the eclipses are, they're much more malefic over the next few years. So just be aware, okay? And yes, everyone's saying hi to Gerald because we adore him. Okay, go ahead, Jonathan, I'll mute.
And then I'll try to unmute. There we go. Rhoda, I actually usually like a little more specific of a question rather than just, hey, I'm standing by the side of the road. What's going to drive past? So if you have a second, you can pop it into the comments. You know, I have a question about this or that. Until I see that, I will say that in the general mix of things where we're all just sort of, again, standing by the side of the road, the next month is going to be a turning point for virtually everyone in this country and probably everyone, family and finances. Okay. A lot of things are going to change and they're going to change rapidly. So I think that you need to make sure that your feet are on the ground emotionally, financially, and physically too, because we are going to need all of our strength to get through the next couple of years. Things are going to change for people in the United States that are going to make people in the third world go, oh my God, those poor people. We're headed for some rough weather, and I'm saying this both from a sense that I have, and also I've been here for a minute and I've seen this play before. It's happened on more than one occasion where someone just decides, that's it, I'm going to take over the world. I'm going to use the United States as the hammer to do it. And all that ends up typically happening is the hammer breaks and the other people that are getting hammered get hammered. We're all going to be hammered because things are so much out of control. Again, I don't think I could point to a time that I've been personally here. I mean, you can look in history books and find parallels if you go back far enough. Talking about my specific 73 years standing here watching the crazy parade go by, I've never seen anything like this by degree. I've seen crazy dictators before. I've seen crazy, market turns before. I've seen shortages of things. I've seen pandemics. I've seen a lot of stuff, and a lot of people have seen a lot of stuff. But I haven't seen so much at once. There was an author that had a phrase. It was everything all at once, everywhere, and that's kind of what we're experiencing. It's very difficult to really, if you feel disconnected, if you feel like you just can't get your bearings, there's a reason for that, and that's because the ability to get your bearings has been taken away from us unless we really focus on one or two things at a time. Because if you think about your personal life, your family life, your work life, your neighborhood life, your future life, your past life, everything. You have to think about everything all at once because everything is happening all at once. And now we have this, what the heck is going to happen next year and for the next few years while you're thinking about everything all at once. So long ago and far away, I had several years spent like that when I was fighting with the United States government. And we eventually just agreed that I was annoying and I was allowed to go away. But I came out of that really, really physically and emotionally drained and scarred. And it took me a long time to sort of get my feet under me. And I did it consciously because I was defending my rights and they were trying to take those rights away from me. Sound familiar? That's what just happened to our country. And we have to get those rights back. And you need to be part of that. We all need to be part of that. We're going to have to be part of that because if you don't take your rights back, you're never going to have rights. And if you don't have rights, what's the point of being here? You know, there are cheaper places to live than here. The reason we live here is because we have rights, we have abilities, we have things that we don't have to ask permission to do because they're part of the things we're allowed to do by nature of being citizens or at least residents of this country or used to. I think that just went out the door last night. So I would say, yeah, I hear you, Mr. Odie. Community is very important when when you're when you're on a ship and you all have to start paddling. It's really good to have a few people at the oars. But I had somebody very wise tell me when I was going through one of my crazier periods in my life, uh, stop, sit down, close your eyes, rest. You cannot run 1,000 miles an hour constantly. You have to rest. You're a machine. The body is a machine. We're in charge of this machine. When you get really tired, when you start making mistakes, that's what happens. That's when I know I'm really tired. I start making mistakes. Stop, because you're just going to keep making mistakes. Sit down, drink some tea, drink some water, drink some whatever calms you down. Listen to some music, lie flat on the floor, lie on the bed. If you have pets, they're an enormous comfort to have a little fella or girl come over and hit you with their nose and say, "What's wrong?" That can just bring you back to life. So, current medical bills are 40,000 a month, but you're worth it, right? I mean, come on. Yeah, I don't know what it was if inflation adjusted, but I was probably around 10 or 15,000 a month back in the 70s because I was getting some stuff that was, I'm sorry, 90s. I was getting some stuff that was really, really, really designed to just about kill me, but not quite. And fortunately, I had, back in those days, they had this thing called insurance, and I had insurance and it paid for about 90% of it, but it was still, but I got a bargain because I lived. So anyway, I hope that that was some help. Don't feel that you're alone is the main part of that statement. Ask for help. If you don't feel that you have any friends, find a group, find an affinity group, whether it's church or something you like to do, a game you like to play, dancing, something like that. There are probably more affinity groups available in the next few years because people are going to need affinity. So I hope that was some help.
It was. Thank you, Jonathan. Oh my goodness. So yeah, hi to Odin. Thank you all in the chat. And you're not late, Susan. You're right on time. And thank you for the hugs, Rooted Willow. And I love that you have your parents Rose Blue. That's really big right now. But we all need to get together, and especially the older people in our country, that they lose Medicare, if they lose Social Security, things like that. That's not a good thing. Okay. And I'm talking about 65 or older. So that's not even considered old these days. Because I'm married to Jonathan. He'll be 74 next month. So yeah, we're just getting younger. So that's a big thing. So I'm glad that you guys have each other. That's beautiful. And yes, the king. I know it's a lot, you guys. We don't know if we're going to be able to continue to do this. That's the thing for me. Now, Jonathan and I won't be in the country, so we'll still be able to do this on some level, but I don't know if we'll be able to stream to the United States. We could be blocked because there's a huge lawsuit between Google and Russian right now, and they're already finding that Russian bots were a big part of what happened. So I don't know if you guys experienced some stuff in your area, but Google came out with, there was like a 0-day virus or something that came out, and there was a whole bunch of stuff around that. So, oh my goodness. So, okay, let's go ahead and look at our next question. And it is the lovely Lightfoot. I will get to your question, Lightfoot. Okay, so Lightfoot is asking, I am a single woman accustomed to freedom. Should I plan on leaving the country? You know, my intellect says yes, but my cards and my intuition said no. I got that there will not be success if you move to another country at this point. I got Ace of Wands reversed, meaning there isn't enough action or fire behind this yet. Then I got the Ace of Swords reversed. There hasn't been enough mental planning in and around this. Then I got the Queen of Cups reversed. That means that there hasn't been a lot of intuitive thought or enough put into the move yet. And then I get that there was a lack of planning and a missed opportunity. Okay. So I said, all right, now is not the time. There was some kind of missed opportunity. They want you to write. Okay. I got Toth for the solution. They want you to write. And if you are invited to a celebration involving other people, go. Okay. I celebrate each and every day. Like all rituals, celebration connects us to the forces within ourselves and our world to aid and sustain us. Ardent feelings can give us the energy to rise like bubbles above all limits, either real or imagined. You're severely limited in being able to move right now, according to my cards. If you're invited to a get together or a group that can support you, they're asking you to join that group because they can help you lift you up. Your contribution is you need to write. Okay, that's the main thing that they have you. I did get your question, Rachel. Thank you. That's the main thing area that they have you working in, and I'm kind of excited to see what Jonathan has for you. I hope that was helpful.
Well, I'm going to give you maybe a strange answer. I'll give you the answer and then I'll explain why. Should I plan on leaving the country? Yes, you should plan on leaving the country, but you may not have to. But I can tell you that if you're going to need to leave the country, you're not going to have time to plan. It's going to be like the hammer's coming down in 48 hours. Nobody can leave unless they've already gone through a process. Like, do you have a passport? Do you need a visa to go? Because if you leave this country, you got to go to another country. Other countries have much more stringent visitation and immigration laws than the United States. Some countries you are not going to be able to go to. So you need to sort out the ones you can go to, the ones you might go to the ones you forget about it. You're never getting in there. Should you go beyond a certain, some countries require a passport. Most countries in Europe and Asia require a passport. So do you have a passport? Is it current? Is your photo current? Are all of your vaccinations current? Once you start looking into this, you realize the decision to go is step one of 1,000 steps in a journey. So if you think that you might, because, I have to tell you something. I'm accustomed to freedom too. And both Michelle and I have fought for our freedom, fought for our freedom. Me, when I was 19, I started, still doing it. But freedom comes at a cost. And now that cost is partly time and partly the expense to maintain that freedom. Because if we lose our freedom in this country, it is available in other countries, not in the same flavor, but it's out there. But you can't just get on an airplane in the United States and go to freedom country B and get off the plane and there's people applauding saying, "Yay, welcome refugees." No, you have to have your paperwork in order. And right now, it takes a while to get that. We just went through a process to get some of our documentation that would allow us to leave the country and go to another country started, and it took a while. You don't just walk down, stand in front of a picture of a flag, and they take your picture. You have to make an appointment. Everybody else has already made an appointment. Believe it or not, there are other people that have maybe gotten the idea that they have to leave also, and they got that idea anywhere from 6 months to 4 hours ahead of you. So you have to get in that queue, wait for your date, and then go down. And believe it or not, there's an interview. It's not just here's my money, here's my picture, I want my passport. There is an actual interview where they talk to you about this and that and the other. I mean, they're not so be prepared to speak intelligently and talk about your background. Make sure you know your, believe it or not, name, address, phone number, and maybe your last address and phone, the last couple of addresses and phone numbers, because they don't just look at where you are, they look at where you were. because what they're trying to do is there's a lot of fraud around passports nowadays. And they're making sure that you are legitimately eligible for a passport, you're entitled to a passport, and that you have all of the documentation and answers to the questions and the finance for a passport. It's not cheap. And it takes a while. They're not just going to, okay, boom, boom, take your picture. There you go. You're out the door. You have a passport. You might wait anywhere from several weeks to several months. So, what I would say is start the process. If you start the process, it will take up some of your time. It will give you a focus. You'll learn a lot. In the course of that, you'll realize, oh, I don't know what type of passport I need for this country versus that country. So you get to learn about where you can go and where you can't go with certain levels of passports. So again, trying to keep it short. Yes, you should get a passport. It's a tremendously effective identification too, So it proves not only your country of origin, it also proves that your country of origin has vetted you and you're not wanted for any major crimes, and that you are actually the person whose picture is in the passport. I've seen people, believe it or not, because we live in a very fluid immigrant sort of community, I've seen people use their passport at the grocery store to cash a check. So it's a great document to have. Hope that helps.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. So if you asked the question, what should I write? Doing that research, getting that background stuff done. Anything from, I'm having to go down to my college and get sealed transcripts, things like that for digital nomad stuff. Okay. I also, like I said at the beginning of the show, I offer astrocartography. I look at the chart of the country or city or area that you're looking in, and I see how it collaborates with you. That's how we chose our next jump. So, and you're very welcome, Lightfoot. Our passports were about 500. Was it about that?
Yeah.
About $500, but we got them expedited. We got them last month. Yeah, we wanted to get them before the end of 2025. So you're gonna have to pay through the teeth to get it expedited, but it's worth it. And you're very welcome, Lightfoot. All right, thank you very much, Rising Phoenix. Lalima, I will go ahead and put you in the queue. Let me write that. Can you put her in the queue, sweetie, in the private? Thank you. And then, yeah, they used to be about $80. They're very expensive now. So, yeah, so just be aware of that. So if you feel like you guys have maybe missed an opportunity or something like that, that now is the time to just get together, collaborate. Jonathan and I are a resource too, because we saw this coming about a month ago. Technically 2 weeks is when it got really critical, because I was giving readings to people and it was just like, what happened? Why am I getting you need to leave the country cards? Like it was a lot, you guys. So, oh, I'm sending you lots of love. Okay. So our next lovely question is from the wonderful Rachel Farber. Woohoo! All right, let me find your question, Miss Rachel. I did star it, so don't worry. I think you put another one at the end here. There it is. A friend of mine in Canada and I are talking about getting married. Yes, seriously. That explains my cards. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding, Rachel. That explains my cards. Landlords gave me the lease today, but I'm not sure I need to sign. I don't even want to buy a TV. I don't want to get too settled. I love it here, but I'm scared I don't want to serve under this monster again. Okay, one, take a breath. You don't want to do anything impulsive, okay? Now, you're going to have to go through necessary channels in order to make this work. The first house I got was the 5th house. This is creativity and children. It's important that you use your divinely given creativity and your innovative outlook to kind of to move through this. All right. I got the Page of Wands reversed. Okay. You are not happy about this situation. You can see his face in the card. It's just like you are ready to walk away, but it's upside down. It can't happen yet. You have to go through the processes first. Then I got the Page of Pentacles that was also reversed. So you got to figure out the action and you got to figure out the money piece before you're able to make a big decision moving forward. Okay, because that's going to keep you from being able to move on, because I got this reversed. This is the 8 of Cups reversed. So if you're able to address the take action with your work and with the monetary aspect of this, then you'll be able to move on. But otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to move past this. I was going to ask you who this was. I got the Knight of Cups. I said you might want to lean on this would be an empathic male in your life that's offering you a hand up or just some help. So I was wondering what that was about. So I don't think this is a bad idea, but I think it is a bad idea if you rush it. Okay, if you don't consider all of the things that need to be done before making this plan. This is a good person here. Okay, whether this is the person in Canada or not, this is a masculine energy in your life. He's a very he's empathic. He's watery. He's very compassionate person. He's going to actually add a little water to your fire as far as the energy goes. And you can see he's got the little, oh yeah, he's a Pisces. This guy's got little fish on his outfit here. So that's him. Okay, thank you for confirming. So this is the Piscean energy. He can be a support for you. Okay, but you're going to have to try to get some of your ducks in a row before you take on a project like this. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to leave. Okay, um, don't rush it. So I got persistent. You're going to have to be extremely persistent to make this happen. And I got that you are seeing the situation accurately. You were saying this is Horus. The eye of Horus is the third eye. Rachel, you've known for a long time that this was going to happen and no one believed you. So take heart in knowing that you are coming from a place where you are seeing things correctly. Okay. Some people absolutely love the fact that this happened because they think it's going to bring back a lot of enforcement and a lot of laws that have been ignored. It's also going to bring other things. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay. Um, oh, he's a Pisces and he lives in Victoria. Very cool. Oh, I like BC too, Susan. And he helps his mom. He's a good guy. I have a savings. I worked hard for them. Very good. And I felt this for months and years. Wonderful. Well, I was getting marriage cards for you this year. This might be what was going on there, the relationship cards. It's just now starting to perk a little bit. So, and that does sound like maybe you haven't been able to find a home. Now, you're going to get over that yoga mid-January. So that would explain why everything was so topsy-turvy. That's a really good point, Susan. I love that. I can imagine that for you, Rachel. I really can. Make sure Ollie likes him. But if you love this person and you've been friends with them for a long time and they're offering you a hand up, I got really good cards for him. And they pointed out that he was a Pisces and he can calm you down. He can kind of, you tend to be very fiery, very beautifully passionate. And he is more like empathic and calm. And so you could bring out the more passionate energy in him and he can help calm your fire a little bit. So I can see that being a beautiful thing. So, and yeah, there you go. He's a floater, and I mentioned you were needing a roommate. Floaters are good. You need to be a floater during tumultuous times. It's good to be hard to catch. Okay, so I do astrocartography. I rely on the sidereal zodiac. It's the real sign. It's the real stuff going on in the sky right now, and I do find it to be very accurate. And I used it to pick out the places that Jonathan and I are going to be traveling to. So I'm living it. So I'm not just I'm not just offering this as a service. I studied because I grew up in the military, grew up all over the world, and I studied the various places that I lived, and I looked at my charts there, and they matched up pretty well. So I'm kind of excited to offer that service, and I put it at a discount for you guys. So yeah, I'm hoping that's the reasoning for you too, Rooted Willow. And she says, absolutely, Victoria is a beautiful town. It really is. And I could do a PhD in music there. That would be amazing. Yeah, I'm excited for you, but I'm excited for you both too, Rachel. That's awesome. Thank you for the encouragement. And oh, and thank you so much, Rooted Willow. That was lovely of you. And we had over 3 hours together the other day. That was so much fun. And you looked at Spain today. That's wonderful. Didn't you sell your house at the perfect time? I am so happy for you. This is like you have all of your assets together. You can go anywhere. I am so excited for you, Susan. And the signs and the signs are accurate. Yes, Laura. It's the real sky calculation that I use. So yeah. Oh my gosh, Susan. Yes. Yes. That's that Jupiter energy in your chart. He saved your patootie. So I am like, girl, you could just go, honey, what you can afford in other parts of the world is going to blow your freaking mind. You are going to be living like a freaking queen. And the healthcare in other countries, forget about it. You are going to rock it. You could be walking and running before, the end of next year if you get to a good place. So, and all right. So, oh, you looked at the Western, you weren't pleased. Okay, well, I do Vedic, and we can go through some of those too. All right, Care Bear, thank you. And you know what? You can always I would pull cards, Rachel, if you have a deck or something, and just kind of if you looking into seeing what that works. And then okay, well, I hope that was helpful. Oh yeah, Jonathan has to go. Okay, so I'm excited to see what he says.
Okay, Rachel. Normally I'm not on screen on camera. I'm just in the background killing trolls, but I also look at all the comments, and I have to say, I sort of feel like your older uncle or something at this point because I've sort of followed your comments. I tried this apartment. It's great. Oh my God, it's awful. It fell apart the second I got there. The landlord let me go, so I found this other one I think is really good. Oh no, it's awful. You have really been through it. Um, I don't, again, I'm just sort of looking from the sidelines and reading what you tell us here, but your life has not really been, uh, I guess stable is the word that I'm looking for. I mean, I'm sure you have, it's not just chaos 24/7, but uh, you have been through it. You have been through it personally, professionally. Ali, I think you thought he was ill at one point. Um, it seemed to me the last, the last bookmark I put in the saga, you had actually found a place that was worth staying. And yeah, the place is actually nice. So were you talking about just going to Berlin to visit? Or are you thinking of moving? Or, because uh, and look what just happened. This may not be the best time to be a world traveler, you know. Um, so it, I think you might want to maybe wait till spring because honestly, at this point, nobody can tell you what's going to happen in the next few hours, days, weeks, or months because we just went back on the crazy train to the cheap seats on the crazy train. And anybody that thinks they know what's going to happen right now has no idea what's going to happen right now. Even the people that are going to be doing it don't have any idea what's going to happen right now. They're not making it up as they go along. It's happening to them as they go along. So there's not even like planning as they're stumbling from mistake to mistake. So our plan is to sort of plan and keep planning and take steps toward, there's documentation that I have a feeling you probably traveled farther than I have in the last 10 years. There's documentation that you need, there's certifications, you have to have vaccinations and all sorts of Asians. So make sure those are all in line, and we're getting that ready so that if we have to pull the plug and move, we can do that. We just simply get all of our documentation, grab Rosie, and we're out the door. And that's probably not a bad plan for anybody at this point that doesn't feel that the current or the past and the incoming administration is the greatest thing they've ever seen. You need some options. And GTFO is an option at this point. And I've stuck through this country through several wars and them trying to put me in two of them. And I didn't think that I would ever seriously say, yeah, time to go. And it's that close. So I would say, summing up, uh, get your ducks in a row. You may already have a valid passport. You may already have all of your vaccinations. You may have everything that you need. Great. Keep them up. Chances are they're going to start throwing things. Oh, you have this kind of certification, but you don't have that kind of certification. So you have to go to this and get that so that you can go there, So make sure you're on top of that because if you need to book it, you want to be able to book it. But in the meantime, start thinking about where you might go if you had to go there for a while, because I think that might be rather, you can go for a vacation or just to like clear your head or something. But think about if you went someplace to get, have a vacation and clear your head, and the then president closed the borders. This has happened. So have a passport. Good. Yeah, we're we're pending passports. Putting in your papers and need an excuse to go. Yeah. Um, well, it's, I guess, yes, wanting to go is no longer an excuse. So find something reasonable and, like make an appointment with somebody in that country to do something non-invasive that only they can do, and then say, I have to go see this specialist because I want to find out if I have this, that, or the other. You know, yeah, yeah, that's ducks in a row for 6 to 9 months. Yeah. And Amanda, yeah, sell everything. Good luck. You're going to be throwing away a lot of stuff, is what we found, because the market is. Yes, I regret 70 years of being a clutterbug now. What are you going to do? Yeah. So anyway, oh, going to school in Europe? Yeah. Well, that's not to say that there aren't plenty of reasons to go there, but when you get there, is that going to be where you want to stay, or are you just going to be in Europe when you go to Asia? I think you need to make up your mind. Am I leaving and going someplace because I want to go there and I think it's going to fulfill this like like itch, or am I just looking for a scratch? You know. Anyway, hope that's helpful.
It was. Thank you, sweetie. And yeah, it's a lot of energy. And yes, sad but true, Amanda. We agree with you. And we were burglarized and our house was taken. So that was our sign from spirit to get out of the country. So that was kind of our thing. And I was literally told by Kali during meditation that it was to basically put some wind in our sails and to encourage Jonathan, because he's the clutter bug and I'm the Marie Kondo. So I like a very clean, organized environment, and he loves his stuff. So we have a very balanced looking home because we balance each other out. It's not like an OCD nightmare, and it's not a clutter bug. So we're a good team. So I love the fact that you balance me out, sweetie. But we're not going to be very clutter buggy when we're traveling. So they could close the borders. That is correct, to keep us here because they, yeah. So, oh, and you're like Jonathan. Okay, I got it. Yeah. Oh, we get along, Susan. Like most of this beautiful stained glass we have in our apartment that you also had in your beautiful bed and breakfast. It's his style is a lot like yours. It's very pretty. Yeah. So he loves antiques too. So, oh, I'm so sorry, Care Bear. I'm giving you lots of hugs, sweetie. It's just a lot. It is. It is. And you're very, very welcome. And we're very lucky to have each other. And we're lucky to have you guys in our lives too. So we appreciate you, Rachel. We really do. So we've known you for so long. It's like we're just a big family here, you know? So, oh my goodness. Oh, let's see. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Thank you guys for being so kind. You guys are wonderful. Lenora, it is lovely to see you. All right, so James is our next question. I'm not asking out of selfishness, but I haven't much had happiness or joy in my lifetime. I really need some good times. Thank you. You're welcome, sweetie. I got some great cards for you, James. The first one I got was Taurus. Taurus is all about it's meeting our material needs and our savings accounts, but it's our beliefs. It's what makes us feel grounded and secure. And if you want to, for what I like to call secure your base, this would be a great way to do it. I got the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is all about being spontaneous. It's a very youthful spirit. And they're asking you to embrace that. Liberality, innocence, youthfulness, a little impatience, but spontaneity, okay? So just bring back a little bit of that youthful excitement and that vibrant energy that you have inside of you. And when you embody this, you'll be influenced by others who kind of fit this description, and your vibration will attract better times and more vibrant personalities. So, what else, guys? They say if you're focused on achieving some type of a community, it's going to happen for you. They're saying something wonderful will unfold for you. Your charm, your spontaneity, and your romantic spirit will captivate those around you when you get in and around that. And people will be drawn to your contagious enthusiasm and zest for life, because your inner child is amazing. I'm just tapping if it's okay. It's really cool. If you infuse everything you do with excitement and passion, people are just going to be naturally drawn to you. This is inside of you, James. I love it when I get this, because that's an energy that we all kind of need right now. We need that. Um, I asked, how does James do this? How does he attract the energy? Where does he find it? Okay. I got the cultivation card. This is all about music. So listening to music can help heal, encourage, and nurture your soul. I thought about when we move, we're going to be a 16-hour difference. And so 3:30 to 4 is when I do my mantra practice in the morning. And that's called a Brahma Muhurta. And that's the best time to reach the gurus of Rishikesh and things like that. So that will be around 4 o'clock this time. So it will allow me to kind of share some of that with you as well. But this is all about singing, chanting, coming together in a community. You notice he's playing the vina here, and he's got a dumaro, and a little dumaro, that's a little drum. And that presents a very focused kind of motion and activity with others. Now he's forming a yan mudra, okay? And that's with his other hand, and that's to invoke more knowledge and wisdom. So a group that gets together and does music, ritual, whether you just bring a little drum or you sing along, they say that that will help you draw in a spiritual tribe, because essentially that is who you are. You connect your spirit through music, and those musical tones that are going to have an energetic impact on the cells and organs of not only your human body, but the people that you're doing it with. And they'll vibrate and have their own intonations. They're actually showing me the group. So music will help you cultivate your community. Joining a music group, celebrating is something which we call in the Vedic community kirtan or japa. I'm a part of a couple of groups that are wonderful. Dave and Pramal have a YouTube channel. There's a few others as well that you can look into. What is it? Is it why is his name escaping me, honey? Is it not Ram Das? He plays the harmonium. We listen to him all the time. He'll come up with it. But he's got a really great channel. I don't know why. We listen to him all the time. It's just like I'm so like all over the place. I apologize, guys. But yeah, so this is going to bring out more unity in your life. It's going to help you deal with the duality of feeling like you're separate from other people. And they're saying you can start by just maybe listening to some soothing music to start your day and find out what kind of genre you would like to attract. And when you do that type of music and song, I don't want to say training, because you are going to be retraining your brain to be a little bit more accepting and youthful. You're going to attract that right energy toward you. Okay, James, that's what I got. I'm kind of excited to see what Jonathan has to say, because we're both musicians. I'm a singer, and Jonathan is a drummer. So I'm excited to see what he has to say.
Well, okay, I am unmuted. It sounds like you know, my own experience and my experience with people that haven't had much happiness and joy in their lifetime usually is because, well, there's a number of things, but it's usually because something else has taken the place of the space that would have been the space and time that would have been used for happiness. Krishna Das is who you were thinking. The harmonium player is Krishna Das. So I'll say again, I've been here for a minute, and I learned kind of in late midlife that you actually have to make space for happiness and work on it. You know, it's kind of like building a house. You don't just start in the middle of the freeway because people are going to be driving over your house. You have to find a space for what you consider to be happiness. You have to clear the space to make sure that it's within your possession, let's call it, for lack of a better term, that you're in control of it. And then you have to decide, what am I going to build here? Am I happy just having a nice little clear space where I can just sit in peace? Or do I want to learn how to play the harmonium? Do I want to learn how to play the guitar? Do I want to learn how to play poker or bridge? Or again, do I just want to sit here and listen to my heartbeat? The good news is that there are nowadays, you have availability to try, experience, and learn how to do things, again, online, YouTube, and countless private websites which will show you how to do anything, virtually anything online. And music is one of those. But it really comes down to what makes you feel the way that you want to feel when you're doing that. Some people are excited by music. They get really just like revved up about music, even if it's they're playing Vivaldi or Bach. They're really, really excited by this calm, beautiful music. Other people, like I was into, believe it or not, really, really loud rock music when I was young, because that was kind of a way for me to blot out all the stuff that was, that I thought was causing my problems. It would just wash over me and I'd have to think about stuff for a little bit. Now I can't really listen to that because I'm not in that headset. It has to be just a whole different, type of music. So the thing to do would be to find out first. If you want to find how to get someplace, first you have to pick a location and then find out how to get there. So I would start trying to determine what is it that you want to do. What do you want to listen to, that you want to be part of, and then make an honest assessment of how difficult is it for you to do that. I would love to be a piano player. I mean, I love piano music, organ music, keys, keyboards. I've loved it since I was a child. My mother actually, pardon me, got me a small organ at one point. It was this little organ, it was about a foot and a half deep and 8 inches wide, about 3 octaves. And I found out that uh, I have a really good music. I have a musical ear. I can tell the intervals between this note sharp or flat and that note sharp or flat. I found that out when I was in the band in school. But in terms of that particular modality of music, absolutely not my thing. I am not a keyboard guy. So make sure. The good news is most music stores, I'm guessing, I'm pretty sure we still have music stores at this point, when what used to be called a mall. Um, Usually they have things that you can try out literally on the floor, and then you can do a rental program where you can rent, let's say, an oboe for $25 a month, and then you have a lesson plan. I'm sure you can go to YouTube and find everybody showing, countless ways to learn how to play the oboe for free or for pay or whatever. So um, I think the place to start, though, is what's your motivation? Do you want to hear music, or do you want to be part of music? Because I learned a long time ago, being involved in my own experiences with trying to learn the piano and being in a band, it's different listening than it is playing, because playing takes a lot more discipline than listening, and listening is an art and skill too. You can get a lot more out of music than just listening to it in the background while you're reading or something. If you get into the types of musical styles and things that the very, particularly the classical composers did, they had techniques and things. When you learn about how they do what they did, it's amazing how they were able to create this, put it on paper, and add it to, let's say, 40 different types of instruments all playing simultaneously. And it wasn't just like, standing by the freeway and hearing noise. So kind of figure out what you're trying to do and then move in that direction would be what I would suggest. And yeah, singing is also a good way to start, because you kind of already have the instrument. So it's just a matter of time and practice. Sacred harp. Yep. Yep. Actually, that kind of triggers a memory. I was long ago and far away. I was a member of a singing group that was associated with the Episcopalian Church. And I was not that good. They were very nice to let me in. I was sort of, I guess, tall enough. And they went all over the world. They had churches in England and Asia that would sponsor them to fly over and do performances. And so there were about 40 young people from, I'm not kidding, from about 15 to early 20s. They went all over the world, all over Europe, every couple of years. And what they did was go into concert halls and churches, particularly. I believe they were Episcopalian, but they would go, didn't matter. I remember singing in African American Baptist churches, and that's a crowd. That is a crowd that will show a response, rocking and singing too. We had people do solos in the middle of our presentation, and we're like, let it go, sister, you know. And it was pretty crazy. So that's, again, that's a musical experience. Or it could just be you and your oboe sitting in a room, you know, learning how to do it, and that's as fulfilling as it needs to get. But the idea would be to, if you feel the call, answer it. Hope that's helpful.
It was. Thank you, sweetie. And yes, Rooted Willow, you are next. And just to let everybody know, while Jonathan was going, I was all over the place trying to get your questions because I noticed a lot of you came in. He got knocked out of email there. So just to let you guys know, we have Rooted Willow next. And then we have Susan, and then Judy, and then Laura Borderont, and then we have Lalima, and then Lenora, and then Rose Blue. Okay, that's what the order is. If I forgot you, please put it in the chat, and Jonathan will go ahead and make sure that you you go to the top of the line. Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. I was called Piccolo when I was younger. This happened about 15. So I was actually going for a college scholarship for singing, and I literally went through the teenage boy voice because I used to talk really, really high, and like I could do the Celine, I could do all the crazy Celine Dion notes and everything, and then I hit 15 years old, and it was just like boom, second alto. So that was fun. So. And then, oh, that is, yeah, Midnight Sonata on her electric guitar. It is awesome. That's cool. I love that. Oh, and you're welcome, James. We hope that was helpful. And, you know, you being here and being a part of this community, we care about you and we hope it brings you happiness. Okay. So check in, let us know how you're doing. And I'm excited to see you join a musical group and bring out that beautiful inner child because he's really cool. Ooh, and Sharon's, sorry, Susan is sharing music. So there you go. I love it. Love it. Thank you. I'll check that out later. Thank you for sending the link. I love Irish music. I play fiddle as well. So, okay. I did not forget about you, Keith. You are in the queue. We do tippers first. Okay, sweetie. And oh, thank you, Rudy Willow. I appreciate that. Okay. So here we go. Our next question is Rooted Willow. Let me find your question. We appreciate you guys for being patient with us because we got a lot of people here tonight, and we're doing both. Usually Jonathan's in full attack mode, and we're going to have to do that together. Can I get an energy reading for the week? You got it, girl. Okay, it's going to be a transformational week. I got the 8th house. This is a rising phoenix moment. This is all about rising from those ashes. Okay. The reason I say that is you actually know exactly what's going on. You said, I'm a little stuck right now. Your intuition is correct. I got the High Priestess. You can rely on your intuition. Your psychic, the things that you're getting from the guides are correct. Okay. You're stuck. You're going to be stuck for a little bit. Okay. This is how they're asking you to move through this type of stuck energy. Okay, Rooted Willow. I got cultivation for you too. So joining any kind of singing group or group that gets and plays music or plays guitar or anything like that. I know this runs in your family and you passed it on to the kiddos. So this might be something that you get together, maybe going around the campfire, playing guitar, singing some songs, just getting out on a little nature trip or something. Or even just doing it in the backyard, because I know that you love to put your feet on the ground and feel grounded and be one with nature like I do. We have the same moon. That's how we deal with life right now. We also have the same moon as the United States of America, so we're feeling this a little more acutely than the average bear. I find that music is my favorite way to just step out of that stagnant energy, especially spiritual music, kirtan, things like that, japa. If you have a beautiful, like, Episcopalian church, like a lot of people do in their communities, there's a lot of singing groups and things there. Sacred Harp is one that Susan is a part of as well. I've looked into the Seattle area. There's a beautiful, beautiful singing group. So just maybe doing something like that. And then I got spiritual practice for you. This is one of my favorite cards from the Whispers of Ganesh, because this is all about our prayers being answered through our divine rituals. Okay, so you notice he's got incense here. What incense represent is it's our prayers and our needs reaching to the heavens and being heard by our divine, how do I say this? I don't want to say atoms, because that's how I see the divine. The divine is basically just everything. It's just one big atomic blanket. But there are some deities that vibrate in ways that attract us. So they're asking you to include those deities on an altar. You can tell if they vibrate with you or not if you look at them and they look back and you feel a connection. Okay, that's usually how you can tell. So whether it's Jesus or Kali or Krishna or Buddha or it could be a dot on the wall, as long as you're concentrating on that point in time and able to meditate there. That'd be more of a yana practice than a bhakti practice. They're asking you to step into a spiritual practice. Just to let you know, Jonathan and I, we get up in the morning and we do what's called yoga asanas, because he is trained by the Sivananda Yoga Vedanta Center, and he worked as a director for Chicago, New York, Valmarin, places like that. So we get up in the morning and we do our yoga session, and we shared a little bit of that with you, and as well as the book. And then we do what's called pranayama, which is yogic breathing. Actually, no, we do our mantras, excuse me, do our mantras and our japa for the day. And we do all of the deities that are for that day, because as a Joyce's practitioner, that's one of the remedial measures I offer clients. And then after we do our mantras, we go ahead and do what's called pranayama and breathstrika, which are breathing exercises. And that gets us ready for, I usually read from a spiritual text. It could be the Gita, the Bible, the Mahabharata, the Quran, whatever you have in your home that really speaks to you. And then we sit for meditation on a candle in front of either a deity or just the flame. That's what we do every day. And then we also do a meditation at night as well before we go to bed, as well as some japa and kirtan too. And that helps with nightmares and anxiety and things like that. So they're asking you to step into some type of spiritual practice that works with your soul. I know that you love nature. You might want to incorporate that a little bit. The image that I got of you was literally singing songs out in nature around a fire. And you were very happy, my dear. So that might be something that you can like take a break on. And even if it's just going in the backyard, because I know that you're a caregiver right now, that could be just a little break that you need. Okay. So let's see if you said anything. Yes, I'm definitely consider doing that and going up earlier so I can commit to it. Okay, great, great. Um, they have some groups here. I just can't commit to anything right now with mom. I understand that. Yeah. So that's why they said you're a little stuck right now. And you sang in 2 productions. That's incredible. I would love to see those. And you can ask an astrology chart question next time. I am going to need your chart ahead of time. And yes, I do play a little fiddle. I can play Skyboat song looking at the music. So, yeah. And yes, music is a great distraction, and it's a way to uplift our vibration right now. We definitely need that. So, okay. All right. Yeah, that's why we're here. So thank you, Risa. We really appreciate your energy. And Tree speaking to me through Movement Sunday. That's wonderful. I love that. Oh, that's going to be fantastic. And thank you for joining us, Sandra Dole. It's lovely to see you. Okay. Oh, and you went to a Sivananda retreat back in New York in 2013 was intense. That's awesome. I love that you did that. Okay. So I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you, Rooted Willow.
Okay. I'm going to ask, let me have your question again. Are you just sort of, was it a general thing or? Oh, okay. Energy reading for the week. My sense is that you are waiting for something to happen to that you're reacting to rather than taking action and then following through with that. That's again, that's just an immediate impulse that I had, which to be honest with you, I don't get these sort of like that type of reading. Normally I'm responding to it in a much more terrestrial way, but I get the feeling that you're holding back. And you, I say this because, and I have a witness that can testify to this, I will hold back. I will hold back until the flood is up to here, and then I'll say, okay, maybe we need to start treading water. All right, you made your point. Let's start trying to get to the dry land. So you may be waiting for something to happen, or you're trying to get through something that's happened. You're kind of stuck. it's like you found a place to stand, but you don't know whether to go forward or go back or just continue to stand there. So when this happens to me, and it does happen, I'm usually yeah, I call it strel, where it's like there's a problem behind you, there's a problem in front of you, and there's a problem on either side of you. Which direction do you go? So you're just standing there going, gah, working on more boundaries so I don't lose it. Well, yeah, I guess I sort of felt the opposite of what you were saying. You need to establish these boundaries. So it was a boundaries subject. I was just standing on the wrong side of the fence. Um, Boundaries are, and again, I have a witness here. Boundaries are kind of my skill set because I found that it's a lot easier to say, okay, now I understand. Let me help you with that. Then I'm so sorry that I thought you were trying to cross the street and I pushed you into traffic. Yeah, sorry, you know. So boundaries are your willingness to observe what's going on around you. And that's other people. It's just your environment. So boundaries are critical now that we've reached this point. I mean, it's not just what happened last night. It's what's happened in the last 20, 30 years. People are, there's more of us for one thing. So when you think about boundaries, boundary is a division between your space and someone or something's space. Our boundaries have gone from miles apart to like that. And the more people, the more boundaries, or should be. Now, again, I've lived in large cities. I've lived in Manhattan. I've lived in Chicago. And I've been on a train, an L train, at rush hour, where the boundary is, could you please lower your arm? You know, and that's one type of boundary. I've also lived in Valmorin, Canada, where your nearest neighbor was a 5-10 minute drive. So, and people literally kept shotguns and would fire 2 shots in the air to say, I need help. So that's another kind of boundary. So in your case, so you don't lose it, I'm guessing you're under a lot of personal pressure, or you're putting yourself, which is another way to say it, you're putting yourself under pressure through external or internal circumstances, either other things or people are getting on your last nerve, or you are getting on your last nerve because you're either doing or not doing something. So if you need boundaries with other people, my experience is, and this is hard to do, tell them, you know, thanks very much for your input, but I believe I can handle that on my own. Or thank you very much for your input. What did you mean when you said this and that? You know, I mean, if somebody is standing there unloading on you, well, they've already unloaded. Maybe you can make use of it somehow. You know, try to find something valuable in what they've told you. If it's, and this has happened to me too, if you feel compelled to go to people that you think are in trouble or could use some help and offer to help, that's a landmine situation because you don't know where they are. Let's see, doing too much, feel like I need to do much, and shadow work is being super present and continues. Yeah, I think I sort of was tiptoeing around that.
So he's using full sadi sati.
Oh, okay. So what Michelle just indicated to me was that you are basically trying to catch straws in the middle of a tornado and getting frustrated because they're going so fast, fast enough to be driven into a board, you know. So what you need to do, and I can say, I didn't know what it was called when I went through it, but I knew that I was going through it because I felt like I just booked a ticket to hell without realizing it. And it went on for several years, is you need to learn how to stop. Just like that. You have to stop. Now, I don't mean when you're driving, but you know, and we have to go out, we have to interact with people, people interact with us positively, negatively, you know, environmentally, vocationally, but you need to carve out a space where you can just stop. I don't know if you have a family around you all the time, if you have some or a room that you can go into and just say, hey, I'm just going to go take 10 minutes and chill out. But you need to give yourself permission to do that. And then you need to tell other people that you're going to do that. And then you need to do that. Even if it seems like lying down on the bed, lying on the floor, or sitting in a chair with no radio and no TV, and or maybe you turn the radio on if there's people in the house because you're going to be interacting with their conversation if you can hear it. But somehow just refocusing on not much, just being present is the modern way to say it. Sitting, being present, being aware of your surroundings, know that you're sitting there, know what you're doing, and you are just being present, and that's it. And 5 minutes of that, particularly when you are stressed, will initially seem like an hour and a half. And it will give you about an hour and a half worth of, okay, I can handle this stuff now. Yeah, good. Let me validate that you're going in the right direction. As a guy who used to, I've lived with a lot of people. Again, I lived in a communal yoga ashram situation, and like, you know, you have 4 bunks for guys, and you eat together, and you do asanas together, and you meditate together, and pretty soon you just feel like when somebody's nose in the next table itches, you sneeze. You know, it can get very intense and very close. So we do need alone time. We need the quiet time. You need time to just be you. And honestly, that's essentially a meditation is the highest form of just being you, which then becomes just being. And that's the being we are all part of. So you're on the right track. Something has put you on the right track. Same with me. I was basically in hell. So I thought, maybe I'll book a ticket out of here. You know, I'll go visit purgatory for a while and see if I like the landscape. I did. So I kept going. But it sounds like you have made a good start. But the most important thing for me when I was doing that is give yourself permission to do it. It's not wasted time. You're not snubbing people. You're not doing anything bad. You are simply giving yourself time to rest, repair, recover, and also learn what it feels like to just be you. That's an important step. And a lot of people aren't able to either have the ability to do that, have the time to do that, or even want to do that. So if you feel inclined to do that, do that. Oh gosh. Yeah, I actually very recently I had a lot of time sitting with a family member that was dying in the hospital, and they were at least a little bit verbal, you know, could talk a little bit. We talked about things that we'd done together years and years ago, and do you remember when that time when so and so happened? And then eventually she was just in a coma for days. And I remember just sitting there and day and night, and I know that she could feel my presence and I could feel her presence because we had been together for so long. I knew what that felt like, you know, to be in someone's presence and you weren't necessarily verbally communicating, but you were there in each other's space. So, yeah. So sounds like you're on the way. The main thing that I would suggest for you is remember that you're giving yourself permission to do this. You don't have to do that, but I think it's necessary because in our society, it can be misunderstood when you separate yourself from the group. You know, people want to be social, but you don't have to be social 24/7. So hope that helps.
That was helpful. Thank you, sweetie. And she's working toward it. And yeah, I wonder why you're super exhausted. You're taking end of life care is not only draining on you physically, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. So deep breaths. You've got this. We're both going through Sati Sati, girl. Saturn is going to go on direct between the 14th and the 16th. That is also on the United States moon, you guys. So that's when you can expect a lot of things to happen. Okay. So just take deep breaths, do your spiritual practices. We've got this. And if you have a moon in Shatabishak Aquarius, like we do, my heart goes out to you, and know that when I'm doing my meditation, my mantras, that they're going out to you. When we sit in a spiritual space and we meditate and we allow the divine to enter, we are healing not only ourselves, but everyone in the collective. So it's really important work. And I love that you're open to that. That's really beautiful, Rudy Willow. Thank you so much for the question. We're sending you tons of love. So, and she goes, it does, Jonathan. Thank you. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I can only imagine. I bet, Care Bear. Oh my gosh, that's a lot, sweetie. Whew, all right. So we let's see. Sandra, we are going through tippers right now. Okay, so we have 18 starts so far. And I'm just gonna go until Jonathan says no. Because we're married and we're just hanging out with you guys. Okay, so our next question is the lovely Susan. I'm excited for this one, Susan. I got good news for you, girl. Oh my gosh. Okay, the first surgeon I saw wasn't the one. He said my issues are beyond his capabilities, and he says there's pretty much only one surgeon in the country who can help me. My naturopath has helped all of my issues stem from this one. My surgeon sent me a referral. I'm waiting to hear from his office. It's in another state. I'm concerned that my insurance will balk. Any guidance to assure success? Move. The healthcare in other countries is like staggeringly better than the United States. And Jonathan might give you a little story about what he just went through. But I got move cards for you. I got Uranus and Sagittarius. Okay, so Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. That's your beautiful, that's the beautiful Mahadasha that you're in right now. And you're going through a little bit of a tower moment health-wise. And so the guru, Sagittarian, Chiron, the great healer, is asking you to make a new start. You're in a perfect position to do this, okay? The first card I got for you, Susan, was the Ace of Wands. This is all about taking that first step, that initial action, okay? So this is about initiations, breakthroughs, self-confidence, originality. Salamanders are also very healing as well. I used to have little flower salamanders as pets. There's a significant opportunity waiting for you to improve your health. They're showing it to me. It's beautiful. If you're open to these connections, they're going to start coming your way. Don't hesitate or doubt yourself. Just seize the moment and make it happen, okay? You're about to embark on an exciting new journey. This is really cool. You're going to start this bold new project to help your health. And you can expect breakthroughs and challenges that will test your nerves and talents. But when you take action and determined efforts and direct your goals, oh my gosh, they're going to be freaking amazing. So I said, what kind of headset does she need to step in? I got the Ace of Swords. So these are fantastic. This is triumph. This is concentration. This is about, putting your force into purpose, okay? So focus is going to be really, really key. Studying where is really best for you to get this these procedures done. This card does wield a double-edged sword because it represents both attack and defense. So your overall influence, it's very positive, but just try not to spread yourself too thin when it comes to the research, when it comes to the mental components. By honing in your concentration, you're going to unlock a lot of profound insights and ideas, and those come best when you're coming from a calm place. So you are determined to triumph over this. This is what this card tells me. You're just going to cut this thing right out of you. And they're saying just step in with clarity, step in with precision, just cut to the chase without, being too forceful. And it's important to stand up for your beliefs and not impose them on others, but to, be an advocate without being too pushy, because it can get a little much when we get further into treatments and things like that. I went to my Whispers of Ganesha for more. I'm going to see if you're saying anything. Okay. I've already started preparing for surgery just in case. Okay, that's wonderful. But I did get that you're going to need to move to another place to get this done. Now, this could be out of state, but I got that it might be out of country. Okay, because this is supposed to be like a new thing coming your way. So if this is still new, this might be it. But this is all about where competence as well as unity and purpose and control are desirable. Okay, so Spirit is urging you to get back to basics. It's a great time to lighten your load, simplify your life, become mobile. They said that you've overextended yourself, and because you've been overcommitted to social activities. They really love you there, but it's taking a little bit back from your health a little bit. So cut back on your schedule so you can zero in on this, because you're being called to address it now. This is new motivation. This is new inspiration. If you've been feeling stuck and about finding a solution, rest assured the energy is going to start moving again. And it's going to come in that beautiful Ace of Wands and Ace of Swords energy. So you're creating changes right now. Explore potential options right now. One of the best places for healthcare in the world right now is Thailand. There are also other places in Europe which are excellent. I don't know what type of surgery you're going to have, but we can just go into Google or ask ChatGPT, what are the best countries for, and then put in the exact procedures that you're going to need done and what kind of insurances you're going to need while you're there. Insurance, travel insurance is way cheaper than the insurance that we have here, guys. I mean, we pay thousands of dollars in insurance here. It's hundreds there, and you get so much more for it. So if you want to create changes, they're saying it's on the horizon, but we indicate there is extended travel is going to be your best option. That's what I got, and you're in the perfect position to do that. Congratulations, you sold your house at the perfect time and now you get to put it back into you. So I think that's fantastic. It's spirit really getting your back. And so I'm kind of excited to see what Jonathan has. And oh, and welcome the Nugget God. That's such a great name. Yes, we're still talking. So, and welcome Fun Boy. It's good to see you. Okay, yeah, we love being together on YouTube too. So she goes, I can't get Daniel to leave Tennessee. Should I move to the state with the surgeon? Well, what do you think, Jonathan? I think this is just my opinion, because we're also moving because of medical reasons as well. And we've done a lot of research here, and Jonathan can give you an example. But you're not going to have the best health care in America, in my opinion, from what I'm reading, that you will in other countries right now. When the billionaires complain about our healthcare system, that means they're going somewhere else. So you might want to look into other options if that is possible. Because I got that you need to move. Okay, sweetie. I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you, and I'm sending you lots of love.
Yeah, Susan, I hope this, I'll try to be brief. But long story short, we both have, but I was taking things a little harder than I should have. And we were under a lot of strain, dealing with a family estate, like a family member that I've known for most of my life. I met her when I was about 13, 14 years old, just decided to get involved in our lives. And long story short, caused us to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in a real estate transaction because she wanted to insert her contractor boyfriend, she's married, by the way, into the middle of the transaction because only he could do the repairs and blah, blah, blah. And because she was my sister-in-law that I'd known since I was 13 or 14, I thought, well, we can probably do that. And she knows this guy. And long story short, he basically took a house that probably would have been worth $600,000 or $700,000 if the repairs had been done, and turned it into something that I had to sell for less than half that. Because when you tear the bathrooms out of a house and don't put them back in, it limits their usefulness.
I paid 67 grand to get rid of it.
Yeah. So it cost us money to get rid of the house rather than providing a huge sort of nest egg for our next stage. And again, the punchline here is this came from within the family. So now in terms of seeking treatment, I guess it's without knowing, seeking treatment in another state. I'm sort of just bounced off a brick wall because I was having I thought it was stress. One surgeon in the country, all the issues stem from this surgeon, the center from. Well, yeah, you make sure that your current naturopath or doctor sends all of your test results and a summary of what he or she has found about your condition to the new person, because that gives them some information to go on. And then you can do a lot of this remotely and by telephone before you get on a plane and fly to another location to have the guy say, oh, you said napropath. I thought you meant so and so, because it's amazing how simple things can get lost when you're trying to, heal yourself. But the reason I was trying to tell you my little saga was because I was dealing with people that I had dealt with 300 miles away. That's a short flight or a long drive. Yeah. Um, this doctor had, I would say, more or less benignly treated me. So for some very simple things like a sprain here, just doing general tests and things. But I felt, and we still have to determine this, I felt I was under a lot of strain and it was causing me to act, let's say, more emotionally than I should have acted and less rationally than I should have acted and impulsively and that sort of thing. So I had a little knee problem and I thought, I'll just tie all this up because he's actually sports medicine, but he's also cross certified in, general family medicine. So I go to see the guy. Long story short, he has a test or did a test remotely with a neurologist that specializes in brain conditions, and he said that at worst I was in the very, very, very tentatively early stages of pre-Alzheimer's in one area. So if there's time for treatment, now is the time to do it, which is kind of good news, bad news is, yeah. Um, so we go back to the doctor that referred me, and first he has me on a protocol of a couple of shots of peptides and some other things, which I looked up, and it's, yeah, this is, if your brain is lacking certain nutrients and peptides and things, it can cause it to tire and weaken. So first thing they're going to do is sort of pump me full of this stuff for about a month and then test me and then go from there. About halfway through that treatment schedule, which was thousands of dollars, by the way, some of it was covered by Medicare, but not a lot. He comes to me during one of my regular injection sessions and says, well, I talked with the doctor that did the remote test. We believe that you need to start undergoing this treatment protocol of stem cells, because if we catch it now, we can prevent it from blowing up into full Alzheimer's. It's just sort of a pre-Alzheimer's state. And you need to initially start getting 2 to 3 stem cell treatments I think it was per week, wasn't it? And at a cost of tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah. So I go from, we think you're maybe overtired and emotionally strained and having a little, maybe some peptides will pep you up, to your brain's melting with no further tests. So long story short, we did not go through with I balked at the stem cell treatments. For one thing, it was in the cost of $500 or $600 or $700 per treatment. It was $6,000 to $8,000. 7 is sort of the magic number per treatment cycle, and probably take 3 cycles to really make sure they covered all the bases. So now the background of this is that this guy is a general practitioner, general physician, certified in sports medicine. He's not a neurologist, but he was very insistent that I take these treatments, and I needed to start them now because time is brain tissue, and I get it. If something is eroding, particularly in your brain matter, you want to stop it and try to repair it if possible. So I did a little reading and I found out that yes, stem cell treatments are sort of the cutting edge for Alzheimer's and dementia, but I was only exhibiting symptoms, like if it's a scale of 1 to 100, I was at about 7 in terms of my symptomatic response. So the other thing was the injections that I was paying a couple of $1,000s for I felt a little better, but probably no better than if I'd had a really good night's sleep. So I stopped, I did a little research, and I skipped a couple of appointments. And then I went back with some questions for the doctor, and he had one of his workers come in and really do a first of all, I'll just back up a second. I'm a salesperson. I've been a salesperson most of my life. I sold real estate for 20 years. I've sold a lot of things. I know sales. I know how to sell. I know when to sell and how to help people, and I know when to say no. So I'm familiar with the sales presentation. I got a sales presentation that made me feel, and I told him this later, like I was being offered a good used car. Payment terms, how many cycles it would take. We can issue you a credit card and put it on the credit card, and then you just pay off the credit card. And I said, wait a minute, where's the diagnosis? You think I have this, but I think I don't. So which opinion is more valid? You don't have any evidentiary proof on your side that says, yes, you're in the first stage of a 5-stage process for Alzheimer's. And by the way, I don't feel any worse now, months and months later, than I did then. So I haven't deteriorated. I haven't gotten much better, but I haven't deteriorated either. So so anyway, I got a call recently. It's been a couple of months, and I got a call from the doctor, and he said, I know that you've fallen out of the practice treatment protocol. I just want to try to get you back in there. If you have any questions, blah, blah, blah. And I said, sure, ask away. And he said, did you feel this? Did you feel that? And blah, blah, blah. And then he asked me, did you feel like you were being sold? Now that told me a lot, because that told me I was being sold. Because why would a doctor ask that question? And I said, I was very honest with the guy, because I feel that he needs to hear it. I said, I felt not only like I was being sold, but like I was being offered a good deal on a used car. And I was negotiating with the salesman out on the lot. I did not feel like I was in a doctor's office being given a prescription or a recommendation for treatment. And he went, oh.
And he dropped you.
And then he basically abruptly terminated the call, and I haven't heard from him since. So we're in the process.
For a second opinion, and he wouldn't send you there because he'd get caught.
Yeah, let's just say he declined. So anyway.
That's medicine in America right now. And that's we're often going through Pisces.
Yeah. And you can get far superior, I would say equal to far superior medical treatment virtually anywhere else in the world, particularly Canada somewhat, although their prices are not, they're high. Mexico would be the closest option to get really good medical treatment at what we would consider ridiculously cheap prices, because they have a different economy. And a lot of places in Europe also. Some of the places, clinics in Europe will actually accept American Medicare if you pay some sort of override binder or something like that. But it could take a $10,000 treatment down to $1,500. So anyway, in the meantime, I really haven't deteriorated that much as far as I can tell. So yes, I was in fact being sold.
That was crazy. Okay, so anyway, your advice is to go run.
My advice is to go to an independent laboratory, if you can do that, and have some testing done to verify that you do in fact have the condition that's being proposed, and that the treatment that's being proposed is the one for that condition. Because it's getting sloppy out there. It's getting very sloppy. I mean, my mother was a nurse. My grandfather was a doctor. I worked in hospitals for years as a young man, as hospital staff. So I've been around medical stuff my life long enough to know when it feels weird, it's probably weird. And it was feeling very weird at that point. So I would always get a second opinion. Having had that experience, I'd probably get a second and a third opinion. So best of luck.
Okay, well, thank you so much, sweetie. And I wasn't expecting you to share that much. That was very nice of you. Thank you. This is a lot of personal stuff. Okay, So we hope that was helpful. Oh, they ran CT scans on the hernias. That's good. I'm glad that they were able to look into that. And welcome, Rushdie from Casablanca. That's so cool. We're actually talking about travel in America today. And then we are paid to do cord blood banking for our kids because they house stem cells. Interesting. Okay. Wow. Good to see you, Garnet. Welcome. And all right, this is the second opinion, is what she says. Okay. So, what I recommend is if you like this doctor and you need to travel to go to this person and they accept your insurance, great. But what I got was a long distance trip to another country might be beneficial, and it would give you and Daniel a nice break. Things are about to hit the fan. I'm just letting everybody know in America's chart. We're going through full Sati Sati right now, okay? And I hit my moon, so I got to see the personal side of this. It's nuts. So, and then Cherry says, integrative medicine, very cool. Okay. Oh gosh, I hear you, Laura. I mean, we spent, I think, 10 grand last month on medical. It was like 9,400, something like that. And then you're welcome, Susan. You're so welcome. And lots of luck to you. We're kind of going through our own stuff too. So come back, let us know how you're doing. Okay, so we have the lovely Judy and then Laura. And then we have Rooted. Oh, we already got Rooted below. Susan. We have Lalima and then Lenora and then Rose Blue. Okay, those are our tippers. All right. So, and you'll investigate further. Oh yeah, definitely. Like ChatGPT has been really helpful in helping us with our, plans. So getting lists and things for visas and things like that. So that's good. Oh, you're moving to Qatar. Very cool. Okay, I'll go ahead and put your star. You just note that we have a lot of people in the chat and we might not get to you at the end. Okay, so we're doing tippers first. And you're still paying off your NICU bills. My girls are 2.5 years old. That's just insane that we have that in this country. I actually interviewed some moms, new moms, for one of our Boomer Mill podcasts, and she had twins, and her medical bills were just insane. I don't know how y'all do it. That we don't have kids for that reason. We can't afford them. So even adoption is just not an option. It's crazy over here. We spend, I think our bills in Seattle are around $7,500 a month, and that doesn't include anything medical or stuff happening. So it's just insane. It's way easier in other places. So, okay. So let me get to your question, Judy. Miss Judy. Okay. Let's see here. I would like a message from my boyfriend Clarence, who passed August of 2020. Okay, you got it. Now, okay, let me see here. Let me just go here. This is from the other side, so I want to make sure that I'm getting this right for you, okay? Do you have any messages for Clarence? Now, I got that he might not have been in the best state of mind when he passed. Okay, that's kind of what I'm picking up on. If you notice, I'm just a little more reserved here because he's showing me some things. Okay, the first thing I got was Saturn in Aquarius. So what happened to him was something like everything that happens to us is karmic. Okay, and he's kind of struggling to understand that on the other side, but he gets it. Okay, so Saturn has been in Aquarius for a while. That's where my moon is, and it is it's a very difficult energy. It tells me that there might have been a debt in that area, something owed. That's the house of servants, innovations, things like that, technology. I did get the Lovers reversed. Okay, so I'm not sure what was going on in your relationship at the time that you were together, Judy, but he's reflecting on the relationships that he's had and how he can improve them. He's also reflecting on how he could have been more emotionally available and secure in the relationship because he struggled with that a little bit. Okay, I asked him what his main focus on is on the other side, and I got a really great card. I got the Three of Wands. Okay, he's embracing the abundance of opportunities that await him in his next birth. Okay, he's stepping into a fortunate period where there's lots of chances and opportunities and successes that he can experience and learn from, because he struggled to learn a few things in this last birth. Okay, he's learning how he can use power to shape his destiny. And he's also saying that your future holds limitless success for you if you have the determination to pursue it, because he's really finding that out on the other side. The power of thought, the power of a lot of things. Um, wow. He said, if you ever need a helping hand, you can call him in for a favor. That's pretty cool. And he also says not to expect opportunities to come to you in predictable manners, because you've got a lot of spiritual energy behind you. And some things, especially in the next few days, might appear out of the blue. And that's going to be messages and things from spirit that are coming through. So he's saying embrace the unknown right now. Your greatest opportunities are often going to become disguised as something else. That's the main energy he's seeing on the other side for you. And if you stay vigilant, adaptable, and you value just cooperation in your life, especially with others right now, because we're all having to lean on each other, you'll have your chance to shine. Okay. I got 2 messages from my talking to heaven. I got there's no such thing as death. So he's doing his review, and his review is really showing him what's going on the other side. And he's like, you don't have to fear death. You don't have to fear anything. Like, we just keep learning and growing and expanding. And it's really, really beautiful, Judy. That's what he's saying. And he says we're all connected in this beautiful, this beautiful atomic world. So that's what he's showing me. And yes, you are soulmates. Okay, that's why he's able to tap into your spirit a little bit more and connect with you, because you are soulmates. And you have known each other before, and that's why he's saying, "Hey, call on me. I'm connected with you. We have a lot of that in common." Let's see if there's anything in the book. It's no accident that our lives intersected. We are for the same soul group. That explains this card here, because it looks like soul group. Okay. We were brought together on an earth life to help each other grow, learn, and love. Sometimes that meant painful situations that tested our patience and ability to forgive each other. That's why I got some of those reverse cards that he's learning from. I sincerely apologize for any pain I inflicted. At each moment, I was doing the best I could. At times, I fell very short of my potential, and I hope you will release any anger you are holding for your sake and not for mine. I hope that in some ways I helped you grow and learn, and he loves you very much, sweetie. So, holy cow, that is amazing. I love it when they come through and they share those things. And yeah, this is a very, he might have struggled a little bit in the human birth, but he is really learning a lot on the other side, and how to work with that energy. Okay. So I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you, sweetie.
Judy, what I'm getting is that, and I'll ask you a question first and I'll tell you why. Do you take time to just sit down by yourself, no TV, no radio, no magazines or anything, and concentrate on Clarence and literally speak to him either verbally or mentally? Do you take time to do that? Because I get the sense that because these folks are still there. They're not here, but they're there. And they can see us, we can't see them. That's just the nature of the place, right? Uh, Clarence wants you to be aware of him, and that's not to say that all of our loved ones that have gone to that part are all around us all the time. They're in a different style of life, so they have things that they do and don't do, and different dimensions and levels and things. But if you have a sense of Clarence, that means that he is at that moment near you and would like to hear from you. And you'll find that if you can attune yourself to those moments, he'll find ways to let you know what yeah, good. He'll let you know what he's seeing and, feeling and thinking. So you can have a relationship. It's just a long distance relationship now. It's infinitely long and infinitely connected at the same time. But you can talk to him out loud. You can talk to him mentally. I mean, I've got family members that I still sort of chat with every now and then because, believe it or not, at least one of them was snarkier than I am and was a genius. So that helps too. But yeah, they are with us at all times. You know, I mean, a lot of times people have trouble sort of understanding or feeling, well, because I can't see them, they're not there, you know. And I mean, he didn't move to Iowa, he passed away, is what it sounds like. But because somebody's not right in front of you doesn't mean that you can't communicate with them. Particularly, I probably get the sense that you probably were very close to him. Yeah, I smell coffee and I think it's him. Yeah. I was going to say, you probably had little triggers or clues where you would see something or feel something, and it was him tuning into you and you tuning into him. You have a long distance connection now, but you still have a connection. So just think about it and practice it. Literally, you know, and you can do this mentally, you can do it out loud, you know, whatever you're comfortable doing, but just chat with him as though you used to chat. You know, you're having coffee and you feel him, talk to him while you're having coffee. Be careful while you're driving. I'll tell you my experience. You want to really be focused in today's competitive traffic, but you can also just say, did you see that guy? Especially if you had a short name, like if you call them, you know, Puppy or something like that. You know, Clarence, did you see that? You know, let them know what's going on, because they actually typically, based on the information that I've been given, they have a bigger sense of things than we do. We're much more limited than they are because we're still agreeing to be in this form, in this place. They've broadened their horizons, but we're part of that horizon. So, and I'm sure he gets just as much comfort from you speaking with him as you do when he speaks to you. So I would continue the relationship and deepen it if you can, when you can. It's a blessing.
Oh, Judy, that was beautiful. I love that he came through and just sat with us and shared that. Thank you so much for letting us tap into him. He really loves you. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Okay, and yeah, come back. Let us know how you're doing, sweetie. We're all in this together. So, Laura, you are next, and then after Laura, we have the lovely uh, Lalima, and then Lenora, and then Rose Blue, and then we'll get to lightning round if we have time or if Jonathan has the energy. Okay. All right. So Laura is asking, reading about my energy regarding moving from Texas. I got great cards. I'm feeling so good about this. Okay. So good. Okay. So first I got Virgo and I got Sagittarius. Okay. So Virgo is the bureaucrats of the zodiac. These are the people who are dotting those I's, crossing those T's, filling out those forms, figuring out visa applications, getting the birth certificates, doing all of that crazy, crazy bureaucratic work that is required. Because unlike this country, you can't just move into someone's house and take it. Okay. You have to actually follow the laws in other countries is what we're finding. So then I got Sagittarius. That's the travel card. Jonathan and I got this morning. It's been our stalker card. 9th house and Sagittarius. It's like, move to a foreign country. I'm like, okay, we got it. We got it. So you are set to do this, but there's a lot of planning that is going to be required for this particular trip. Okay. And you're so welcome, Judy. Oh, Odin just hopped on your lap. I love that. So I know Odin's such a great name. So I do get good cards for you for moving. So that's good. Okay. But you're really, really going to have to put on that bureaucratic headset and get that going. One of the best things that Jonathan and I do is we just go into ChatGPT and we type in everything, like create a full list of what requirements for fill in the blank. It could be a visa to Thailand, or it could be with a medical insurance required in Spain or something like that. And it'll tell you everything. Like it'll even give you the itinerary and things that are going on. It makes your job really easy. Okay. Great cards for the move. This is what it's going to bring. I got 3 of Cups. This is my celebration card. Do it with other people. Okay. This could be a group trip that you take yes, of course, Odin can come. That's something you can ask ChatGPT. We're bringing Rosie with us. And so we have to get her a pet passport. We have to make sure that all of her vaccinations are up to date for that area, because there are vaccines that she needs there that she's not going to get here because it's a different area. There are travel requirements, crate requirements, things like that. We have to change up her food, things like that. So get together with your friends, have a celebration, and try to plan a time, even if it's on Zoom, if they're not in your area. Try to plan something fun, but to make sure that you're celebrating. I got the Lovers card. You're going to be really happy with wherever you end up. Okay, so you're on the right track here. Now, this is where I am going to give you a little bit of homework. Okay, I got the Seven of Pentacles. You're not ready to move yet, but the seeds are better planted for you than for other people trying to get out of the country or trying to move from Texas, wherever you are. Peace begins when expectations end. So take a step back, try to avoid overreacting from the situation that we're in right now. I know it's hard, we're all feeling it, and save for this important move. Okay. Your current financial situation is a little challenging. You're not ready to pick all of your pentacles yet, but they can be made available later. Don't let any minor frustrations deter you from making future plans, because you are going to run into a few things. There's a lot of income requirements, medical requirements, things that are going to be required from certain countries that don't necessarily work out. So gratitude for what you already have will pave the way for your eventual triumph in this area. So just maintain an incredibly strong desire to achieve, focus on the present, and make the most of what you currently have with that Virgo energy, that bureaucratic energy. And there's going to be some frustration. There's going to be some things that test your patience as you go through this, because Jonathan and I are going through the process as well. To overcome it, just visualize your past accomplishments and remember the times where you were worried about achieving them and you made it. Okay, so recognize your own power. Be patient with yourself and just be resilient in the face of any setbacks, and you will be very successful, my dear. Good things coming for you. I'm excited to see what Jonathan has.
That's good. Odin is on the call. Own your home free and clear. Yeah. So I was going to say, if I were in the position, we were for a little bit in a position of having a home to sell, and I already went through that story. But you might find that your money is better. What it seems like in our area, particularly, we live in a very expensive area in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, you've heard of Bellevue, which is where Microsoft is. We're in a city close to Bellevue, but it's still affected by Seattle and Bellevue prices. And we're probably paying 4 times the cost for monthly rent than someone 100 miles away from here would pay. And the reason we're paying that is because we have to kind of be in this area based on what we do when we're not, doing this. So I'm going to give you some unsolicited, unasked, and not legally liable real estate information, not to be confused with advice, which is that I would probably consider selling the home now, because right now, virtually everywhere in the United States, there are exceptions everywhere, and even in neighborhoods, there are exceptions, but home prices now are some of the highest prices that they have ever been at. And again, I was in real estate for a number of years. I followed it. We just recently had a house catastrophe, which also involved pricing and knowing what the neighborhoods are like. You might be better off selling your house now and renting a nice place for a couple of years, because I believe, based on cycles that I've seen before and for entertainment purposes only, all right, we're headed for another housing price dip. That's the shortest way to put it. Yeah. So if you sell your house, you want to, in housing, you want to buy low and sell high when you're buying. When you're owning, you want to sell high and buy low. So if you own your home free and clear now, and it's probably in good shape, it's presumably in a good neighborhood or a neighborhood where houses are selling, if you sell now and go rent someplace, I sense, again, for entertainment purposes only, that we're going to go through a real estate drop, and I believe it's going to be artificial, like the last several. Artificial just means that people start, let's just say that a large interest forced the price down by putting a house on the market and buying it below market, and that creates a statistic, and you do that about 30 times in a neighborhood, and you can force the market down. That's illegal, by the way, but I haven't seen anybody arrested for underpricing their house in a long time. So what I would say is, yeah, uh, sell your house if you're moving from Texas, sell it and rent where you are if you're going to move completely away from Texas or another town in Texas. Rentals are about average. You know, they're a little high, but they're not like catastrophically high. I believe residential real estate prices are going to drop precipitously, particularly in what we are facing now in our national government in the next 2 to 5 years. So renting, you don't have a lot of the problems, you don't have a lot of the expenses, you don't have taxes to pay, it's all in your rent. I know it's a huge thing to do, to sell your house and move and then expect to move again in, several years. But if you want to preserve the value of your house, you don't want to sell it at the bottom of a trench or a recession. So that may not have been the answer that you were looking for, but based on where we are and what I've seen before, that's the information that I have for you. And I hope that's of some value.
Okay, and that's all for entertainment purposes only, even though he is a real estate professional. But just to let you know, the astrology of 2008 is set to hit us in the spring of 2025, again, for entertainment purposes only. So you can always tell when there's a surge in house prices in the stock market right before they collapse it and take the money. And just to let you know, again, for entertainment purposes only, Warren Buffett is going to move all of his stuff to China. So most of the middle class is going to end up there. So just know that our oligarchs are moving out of the country and they're taking their money with them, and that's going to collapse a lot of things. So just be aware. That's the intellectual advice. The intuitive or astrological advice is spring of 2025. So you're waiting for my parents' transition. I hear you there. So yeah, just like I said, you're in a period of waiting for your seeds to come to fruition. Okay, you're still waiting for things to grow and be ready, and in the meantime, really lean on those friends and help. And thank you for letting me know I saved Odin's life. I didn't know that. That was very sweet of you. I have a huge heart for dogs, so we will rescue so cats and dogs. So I loved it that's there. So thank you, sweetheart. And come back and let us know how you're doing, babe. All right. So our next questions are the lovely Lalima, and then Lenora, and then Rose Blue. So I will find your question, Miss Lalima. I think it's a question from your guides, I believe. Okay. Spirit. Okay. There it is. Can I get messages from my guides? Yes, you can. Okay. So I got some things might be a little shaky right now. Okay, first I got Aquarius. Okay, this is my card for innovation. This is where my moon is. It's a tech card. It's someone who kind of thinks outside the box a little bit. And then I got the moon reversed, which means there might be some clarity in this area. And so I said, okay, what the clarity didn't feel like it was coming from like the best place. So I went back into the tarot and I pulled again, and I got 3 of Wands reversed. This is all about trying not to stand in your own way. Okay. Planning is very valuable, and it can bring some unnecessary burdens and complications to your life. So avoid overanalyzing at this current stage. Okay. Keep records, keep lists, but don't let yourself get too caught up in those details because it may lead to disappointment. Be mindful of any nagging or bickering in your environment. That can strain relationships with colleagues, and just try to stay on the same page when you're working. Avoid people who blame or find fault, and vice versa. And anyone in your workplace that has kind of excessive criticism, because that can damage relationships and affect your self-belief. Okay, so if there's any doubt creeping in this area, it becomes challenging, and you're not as successful with the projects that you have in front of you. So they're saying embrace the flux right now in the moment. Avoid over planning for the future because there's a lot of things coming at you. And allow these changes to kind of unfold naturally instead of forcing things to happen via some type of rigid plan. Okay, trust that things will fall into place, and just that will help you avoid regrets. But I'm getting that it might be something regarding the environment that's sapping your strength a little bit. And you're going to have to set those beautiful boundaries and just kind of let things flow. Because I did get a more difficult card, I went to my shamanic healing oracle to do a little bit of shadow work here. And I got the stripping illusions card for you. Okay, there's a beautiful lotus flower here. And the lotus is kind of a funny plant. It flourishes in the muck, in the mud, in the poo. So apparently, you know, our birth is here is very mucky. We kind of start off as tamas, which is the seed of the lotus, and we grow into rajas, which is that action, that activity, kind of breaking out of that more materialistic mold. And then we blossom in its beautiful lotus blossom. Ravati is represented by the lotus, and that's what the April 8th eclipse was all about. So that was rough on America, but they're basically calling you to strip away illusion after illusion in your life when I get this card, because as the lotus petals open up layer by layer by layer, it reveals more of its inner beauty. So when you strip away these illusions, your true essence shines through, and false beliefs, cluttered thinking, unfulfilling relationships, chaotic environments, they go by the wayside and they reveal this beautiful, perfect core of your being, of yourself. So what's going on, guys? Okay, so you're going through this is a challenge. You're processing it. Don't hold on to any illusions that you think are keeping you safe, because they're not. All they do is kind of blind us to the true beauty and potential of that gorgeous, gorgeous blossom within you. So this card is asking you to look truth in the face, like be very direct with it. And don't let any kind of illusions cloud your view, because you're a really beautiful soul and you're here for a very specific purpose. And the fact that you're an MD just tells us that you've been on higher planes. The Danteras plane is beautiful. And it's usually, I find it when I look into someone's chart and I can see those 11 divisions on one of the planets. So you might have that, but that's kind of the overall. What could the illusion be? Well, you do face demotivated by small criticisms. That's true. Okay. Yeah, we hear you there for sure. Okay. So, oh, I did not know that, Laura. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, I'm giving you lots of hugs to Odin. That's wonderful. Oh my gosh, thank you for telling me that. That makes my heart like really, really light, because it's been really heavy all day. I just feel really good about that. So, okay, what could the illusion be? I'm going to let Jonathan tap into that. And then if you need any help with cards, honey, let me know.
Okay. I get the sense that you need to have some alone time. And I don't want to call it meditation, because meditation, people have all sorts of expectations about, oh, I have to concentrate, I have to do a mantra. I don't know how to do that. I'm not perfect in the first 5 minutes that I ever tried, so it's never going to work. There is no perfect meditation unless you meditate at all, and meditation is what you're able to do. It doesn't mean that you're going to sit in a cave for 1,000 years and, the trees are going to grow around you. Meditation is just a process of becoming in tune with yourself, your physical self, your mental self, your emotional self, your energy self. And I'm saying this as a former full-time yoga teacher, because most of the problems that people have in meditation is their expectations about what meditation is, and the fact that they can't do it 12 hours a day. Honestly, in our world, if you can do it for 12 minutes a day, it's an achievement. So what I would suggest that you do is to, and again, I was a classic yoga teacher for a decade or so, a while ago. And I did hatha yoga, all the postures, all the stuff you see in the books and the magazines. You don't have to do all of that. Meditation can be sitting on a sofa or in a chair, or if you want to sit cross-legged on the floor, if you can do that to keep your spine straight. The main thing is to keep your spine straight, because you want the energy to transfer up and down the spine, in and out of the brain, without any sort of obstruction or restriction or strain. So however you can sit comfortably, sit, and you this is called the so hum meditation. When you inhale, you think to yourself. You can do it out loud, or you can simply, say it in your head, in your mind, think it. You say so, and when you exhale, you say or think, well, probably wouldn't say it, hum, and then so, hum. Need some calm time to process in the mid of chaotic stuff. Again, I used to work in a hospital. I got into yoga because I was working in a hospital. I was in such bad shape. I was a clinic clerk. I sat there and typed all day, and I managed 125 charts a day. So, and my mother was a nurse, so I'm really familiar with hospitals. And I was a cancer patient for a long time, so I spent a lot of time in hospitals with hospital staff, and I've been hospital staff. You need a little time to not do that. That's what it takes. And so, yes, maybe set a timer, don't, because you want to do that. You want to set a timer, set it for 5 minutes, don't try to do half an hour initially, 5 minutes, And the thing is, you get to 5 minutes and the watch goes ding or whatever, stop. Because part of discipline is to not overrun the timer, right? So you do it for 5 minutes for a week, 2 weeks, whatever, then maybe you go to 10 minutes. You do it gradually and gently, but just that simple sitting on the floor, watching your breath in, watching your breath out can be tremendously effective, particularly for your emotional state, because you're not thinking about you when you're doing that. You will at first, things will pop into your mind. You just come back to the breathing, come back to the so, and come back to the hum. But it is tremendously effective because it is so simple. Your body is looking for things like this. And when you give your body and your nerves and your brain and your mind something like this, a very simple toy that it can play with, it takes to it like a child to a ball. And again, I did this for a number of years. People get a tremendous amount of relief from this, but you have to do it. Now, if you have to miss a day, or you just realize just before you go to sleep, oh my gosh, I didn't meditate today, do it tomorrow. Just make a note, do it tomorrow. But if you miss it 2 or 3 days, you're going to have to get tough with yourself. I think probably again, having worked in a hospital, anything that gives you the slightest relief is going to be seen as welcome. Again, that's why I got into yoga. I was trying to get over the stress and the physical pain of working in a hospital. It was crazy, the number of charts that I had to deal with and stuff. So that would be the one thing that I would recommend that you do. And if you do that and it starts to work, I can recommend some other things, but start there. Hope that helps.
Oh, and she says much needed. Oh, I'm so glad that worked for you, Lalima. And oh, Care Bear, yes, I love that you do it with your twins. I love that you were able to do that even with the ADHD. That is a huge accomplishment. I love that. And yes, please update us. That would be great. Thank you so much, Lalima. We're so glad we found it helpful. I know, I love him. Isn't he fantastic? I'm so lucky. Okay, all right. So let's see. All right. Okay, you're still here, Rose Blue. Thank you very much. Just to let you know where you're at, we have Lenora and then you. Okay, sweetie? So you are right after this next question. And then we'll just do a few for lightning round if you're still in the audience. And we'll get to all of you. Thank you, Care Bear, for all the love. Okay. So let me find the lovely... Okay, Lenora. Hi there. I would like to know about next steps and also about the potential of me expatriating to Europe, specifically France. A really good channel you can follow is Amelia and JP. They have a travel channel, lots of resources regarding Europe. They're all over the world, actually, but they're a wonderful resource, and we follow them quite a bit. So you're looking at specifically France, and Italy is my backup. Okay. So I got that overall, this trip is going to lead to a lot of transformation in the realm of relationships. You're going to have to make sure that everybody's on board with this, okay? The reason I say that is because I got a lot of reversed cards for some of the energies coming your way. Now, Scorpio is all about transformation. It rules the 8th house of inheritances, chronic illness, unexpected events, things like that. So what that tells me is this can create some unexpected things in the area of relationships for you. Okay, you're welcome, Rose Blue. So I asked about France first. I got the Queen of Swords reversed. It might not be the mentally good place for you. Okay, look at France has actually changed quite a bit. I'm not sure if you've been there recently, but do your research, okay? Because they're saying that mentally you might not be at peace there. Not the best decision logically. Then I got the reversed Hierophant. So you might not see the scene, especially the religious scene there may not jive with you is what I'm seeing. Okay. And then I got the King of Wands reversed. So there might be someone in your life or environment that you're not very happy about. Okay. This is a very fiery energy. It could be a fire sign like an Aries, a Leo, a Sag, something like that. So I did not get great cards for France. Okay. So there needs to be some more research there done on your part to make sure that that you're not remembering what it could be, and instead you're seeing it for the reality it is. That's why I got that Queen of Swords reverse. You might not be seeing it in full reality. Okay. So then I asked about Italy. Okay. I got the Three of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles reversed. Okay. This is you need to guard against any type of how do I say this? Self-serving types of behavior when making this decision. Okay. If you genuinely value the very positive aspects in your life, including your loved ones, you're being asked to treat them with generosity. If you're feeling a little over-possessive or scared, just try to step into love and work with them to make this happen. You need to include them because that's going to foster a lot of spiritual growth and align you with the true values and where you're supposed to be. Okay, so if you have a connection to Italy, you can fight to protect it. But they're saying that it's important that you include other people and their opinions, and that you save for unforeseeable circumstances, but avoid hoarding anything that you have. Basically, what they're asking you to do is share. Bring others with you on your journey. They might not be able to afford it. Okay? When you do that, I got the Four of Wands. Holy celebration. This is my marriage card. This is happiness. Okay? You might not feel like you are in a place of as much power, but in giving up some of the power that you're wielding and some of the monetary power that you have regarding your situation, you're going to invite celebration and a soul connections within your relationships and family that will be very beneficial. Okay. So they're saying include others. Okay, don't do this on your own. If you go to Italy, I did not get good cards for France. Okay, for entertainment purposes only. I did ask what can you do right now to plan, because the plans are a little, they're not fully baked yet. Okay, I got surrender. Surrendering can help you make a better decision. When you're in a state of sleep, the manifestations will take root. So they're asking you to take out some time for rest and recovery after the challenges and various lessons that have been coming your way. Okay, they're offering you the option to retreat to a very calm place where you can replenish your energy and regain your composure. Excuse me. So you notice that Ganesha's hands are at rest. He's normally doing mudras, sacred hand gestures. There's no crown. There's no tilak. He's asleep. So they're asking you to stabilize your energy and recognize that you have been wrapped up in a very stress-filled time, my dear. Okay. Brief periods of this respite will enable you to improve your energy levels and therefore your concentration, so you can pick a better place to jump with the right people. So no matter how big this task is, times of recovery, including a very good night's sleep, is important to heal your body and reset your mind back to a more positive state, so you're not acting out of fear. Okay. Surrender to this challenge for a little while. They're going to provide you with some answers in meditation. But if you're trying to decide or change, this is not the best time. Okay. So you need to take a break, and then that'll give you that clearer head moving forward. I hope that was helpful. I love your photo. You are a beautiful woman. And I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you. Thank you so much for letting us read for you, Lenora. We really appreciate it.
Hi, Lenora. This is actually something that I've been sort of vicariously doing for about the last 20 years or so, is imagining moving to someplace in Europe, France, Italy, a lot of countries that we didn't even know the name of, like Croatia in the 80s. You know, who knew about Croatia in the 80s? Um, the thing about Europe and particularly France and Italy that I didn't know when I started looking at this as an American is that, well, clearly those countries, and we say France and Italy, what we know as France now and Italy now didn't always necessarily used to be France and Italy. You know, there's Brittany, and the borders are very changing. But the good news for you is that the resource that, yeah, the Italian homes empty for sale, very cheap. Actually, if you go to YouTube and just type in fixing up Italian hill town house, you'll get dozens and dozens of amazing and horrifying stories about people that have really just, the other thing is that when all is said and done and your Italian hill home is done, you're in Italy on the side of a hill in a very small village. If that's what you wanted to do and where you wanted to be, you've arrived. But there is a resource, internationalliving.com, just like it sounds, internationalliving.com. They've been doing this for at least more than 30 years that I'm aware of. They have books you can buy. They have video courses that you can buy. They do seminars and they record the seminar, and you can buy the recorded seminar. There was one recently. They have experts that go around and essentially uh, buy properties, fix them up, sell them, buy them, resell them, show you what to look for in this part of that particular European country, what to stay away from, what the trends are, that sort of thing. Tremendous resource for anybody going to Europe, or particularly if you think that you want to buy property. You may already know about it. If you do, then I'm just reinforcing, yeah, it's a good resource. Um, and again, they have, I think that at least twice a year, I know at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, they'll have a seminar where they have basically the highest level and experienced uh, experts for rehabbing property, buying property. What sort of language skills do you need? People in the town that have those language skills that you can hire. They have seminars that you can buy, and it's just hours and hours and hours and hours of video that you can sit and watch at your own rate. So rather than me try to give you any advice, I'll just shift you to my experts, internationalliving.com. You're welcome, because it is a wealth. It is a wealth of information. They still publish a magazine that comes out monthly, and I would just go to the site, look at something you're interested in, buy it, take a look at it, and see where to go from there. You can also get in contact with experts who can point you in the direction of the area you're looking. It's called International Living, all spelled out like a website name. internationaliving.com. And in fact, if you go, I just went to Google and put it on my phone just to make sure the URL, internationalliving.com, and there it is offering me to subscribe. So you'll find it.
Okay, give me a second, honey. I'm going to find it online for him and give him the chat.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it's still there.
Yeah. Oh, it's still there. It's still current. And they had a whole bunch of seminars this year about moving to Italy and France. And then they also go to like Malta. If you decided you want to relocate to Malta, which is like an island off the coast of England, I think. Really a lot of information.
And I'm going to put my website in there too, because I'm offering a special on astrophotography.
There you go. So first find out where you should go and then find out the best way to get there.
Okay, so I went ahead and put the links in there for you. We hope that was helpful. And thank you so much for your question, Lenore. That was awesome. We wish you all the best, and we're excited to see where you're going. We have a channel called The Boomer Mill, and that's what Jonathan is on right now. And he's a boomer, I'm a millennial, and I'm an older millennial. And we are traveling, we're planning on turning it into a travel blog. We're actually very excited about this next step. So we hope that you guys are going to remain positive and healthy as you go through this as well. So, all right. Next is the lovely Rose Blue. Please just do my reading anyway. Okay, you got it. Sounds good. I'm sorry you're buffering, sweetie. Okay, so I want to ask my mom to move. I don't know if she'll say come home. We all are on Social Security. Okay, my heart goes out to you, sweetie. I got some good cards for you though, so that's good. I got Venus and I got the eighth house. The eighth house is that Phoenix moment. It's like rising out of the ashes. Venus is all about finding what we need in our life to keep us safe, to keep us materially secure. So you have Shukra helping you. Shukra is the one person, the one deity you really want helping you out in the material. He rules my ascendant, and I'm very, very happy with my health because of Shukra. So this is a good card for you. I'm very excited about this type of energy coming your way. So my oracle cards started screaming at me, and I'm like, okay, what's going on there? And I got understanding. So clear vision is the gift of seeing not only with your physical eyes, but with your spiritual eyes. That's how Jonathan and I, not only I do astrocartography, but we were able to, because basically it's called the line of Jupiter, and I look at that, and that's where all your blessings are, and it's usually a longitudinal line that I follow, and then you pick a spot, and then we pull cards on it to determine the best spot for you to run. That's more of a spiritual way of finding things, but you can actually just go in on meditation and do things. Like when I went in meditation, I got a very clear landscape of where we were supposed to be, down to the animals. So sitting in meditation can help as well. But the eye of Ganesha symbolizes that grace is coming your way, dear. So it's because you've done a lot of spiritual work in this lifetime, and they're very happy with you. So look for the deeper meaning than the ordinary life experiences than what you're looking for. So don't just go for the food. Don't just go for, like, fill in the blank. Go for a place that really holds a lot of meaning for you. Work on being more observant, and remember to live in balance with your physical and spiritual body as you do this, because you want to make sure that you're materially and spiritually supported in whatever area you choose. Take the time to look at your current circumstances from a very different perspective, because I'm seeing a little bit of a poverty mindset going on. Jonathan and I fell into that in 2018 when a bunch of stuff happened. It's hard to get out of, but there are things that you can do to try to get out of that headset and toward making positive changes instead of dwelling in the stuck nature of that. So accept that the fear from the past, even as you move forward, will serve a greater purpose for that. Use your fear as fuel. That's kind of what I've been telling Jonathan over the last month, is if you're going Shrell, because he tends to freeze when I tend to act. So imagine yourself soaring above the current situation instead of being stuck in it, and gaining that greater perspective over the situation. And your ability to rise above your current conditions will benefit you, and the guides will assist you in flourishing. So they're asking you to give yourself permission to attain the joy that your heart desires. You're going to be able to manifest it moving forward. And this is a number 13 card. Okay. So I picked another card, and this one is a 31 card. So it's a little bit of a 1, 3, 4 energy in there for you, Rose Blue. Consider all of your options and then make an informed choice after you go and you do all of the research. Jonathan and I just provided some great links in the chat that you can look into. Decision that is before you is either sticking to the old ways of being and living or moving into something new. They totally support you moving into something new. Once you become more strong-minded in this area, you will create the opportunity to reflect on much better long-term goals and desires, ones that are going to kind of get you guys out of the muck. So you'll be in a better position to achieve those goals, especially as you do all of the research and you find a place from understanding. They said it has to have a spiritual connection with you. They keep saying that because you've done a lot of really great things in your life. So they're looking for a place where you can really enact more good dharma for your next birth. So with careful planning and a very moderated approach, you'll set yourself up for success now and into the future. So I got good things coming for you. Just have a little bit of homework to do. I'm excited for you and your mom, Rose Blue. And let's see, landlord sold the property. I need stability. Lake City, Florida. Got it. I love them and want to help them. We live on $1,100 a month. That is Gosh, you're like me. You can live on nothing. That's incredible. So I'm going to have Jonathan step in and give you some more advice. I hope that was helpful. Welcome, Linda Rose from Australia. It's lovely to see you. And yeah, so I'll just let you know, Linda Rose, we're doing tippers first, and then if we have time, we'll get to lightning round. Okay, sweetie? That's how the show works. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, so I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you, Rose Blue. Thanks for letting us tap in, and blessings to you and as you guys all move forward. That's a lot to handle.
Yeah, it's complicated when you're getting into I don't know conjoined isn't the right term, but that's kind of the right term when you're bringing the parents back in with the children and you're all living together and you have these pre-existing relationships, which used to revolve around living together in the home. Like the Connors. Yeah, like the Connors. But it's different now because you're an adult and they're used to being in a certain managerial type position, and so there's the emotional component, there's the just a functional component. Who listens to who. I mean, it's in my experience in my family, it was very difficult for the parents or even the older siblings to recognize you once you were grown and give you the credibility of an adult, because to you, you're the little blonde kid running around on the floor breaking things, even though you're now grown up, have a degree, and have a job, and they're in your house. So yeah, there's a lot of territory to cover. And is it possible that they can just sort of? I would try to, again, it might just be given the circumstances, which it would take a long time to explain here, I'm sure. Move them in for a little bit, have them come and stay for 2 weeks, something like that. Do a trial run, in other words. Um, that would sort of give everybody a chance to sort of, okay, well, how does this feel like? What time do they get up? What time do they go to bed? What do they like to do during the day? Because all of a sudden, you're going to have people in your life that are not familiar, probably, unless you're very, very close. They don't really have any idea about what your daily routine is like, or you about what their daily routine is like. Might be perfectly compatible. It might be exactly opposite. They get up 4 hours later than you do. It's not going to work out well because you're going to be making noise when they're trying to sleep, and they're going to be up making noise when you're trying to sleep. So um, don't want to take over just hell. Yeah. Um, is it possible that they can stay where they are and you can just be a resource to come over and help clean and cook and do that sort of thing? Or is it at the point where you have to be there physically? Somebody has to be there physically in their environment to help them get up and sit down and clean and cook and such, because that would make, if they're fully ambulatory, I guess is the term, then that's one thing. If they need assistance, that's a whole other lifestyle or project. If they need assistance, you might find that how much assistance do you have to give? Oh, you moved to their house. Okay. Um, how is that going to affect your lifestyle and your income? If you're moving to their house, that sounds like a full-time effort. Oh, you have to move. Well, seems like your decision is being made for you.
I got good cards for it.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you're going to move in with them, that's less disruptive for them than them moving in with you. And if you're moving in with them and can help because your landlord, did what he can do as a property owner, basically he is displacing you. You could think of it just in the short term. Okay, I'm just going to be here for 3 to 6 months and we're going to see how it works out. Because if you're moving in with them, you can always presumably go find another apartment or buy a house, whatever your circumstances are. But yeah, if they need the sort of day-to-day care and you're right there, it saves them the cost of having to have someone come in and do that. And I know, based on looking into this for family members, it is okay, once a week for dad. So probably just does a checkup, maybe some cleanup, help him do some things. So you would be resident with them, but they also have somebody coming in. Yeah. So that actually if this were my family and that were my circumstance, I would say go ahead. You know, sounds like you have either you're tremendously lucky, which can happen, or you're tremendously efficient. And you know, let's hope it's both, because the nurse comes in to help. You're there during the week, you know, to help, and also just to provide company. You know, people living in day to day to day that don't go out can get really claustrophobic. So you could be a fresh wind coming in and a different voice to hear and some energy, and you can also, the nurse can tell you, you know, what's going on as well. So um, I would just go ahead and ask, make the offer, you know. Oh, okay. So nurse comes in to do meds. That's great. You know, plus while she's there, you can say, hey, this is going on, that's going on. So, and it does sound like you are tremendously, it sounds like you love your parents, you know. I mean, that's, I say that like, wow, you know, but I come from a family where that's not a guarantee, you know. We were a loving family at some points, and we also had some very difficult times, but it does sound like your situation is such that you could be a welcome addition to their lives and also provide some support that they would, you know, they're going to need more and more support as time goes forward. So you can help them to transition from the once a week nurse to the 3 or 4 times a week nurse to maybe assisted living if and when that comes about. So it feels and sounds good. Uh, and you're going to have to do something anyway. So yeah, I would propose this to them and say, look, I think I can solve a problem that I have and solve a problem that you're either in or heading toward, and this is how, and you know, so yeah. And it sounds like you have a good enough relationship with your parents that you can just like, you don't have to warm them up a lot. You just say, look, this is what's going on with you, this is what's going on with me, here's what I think would work best, and you just sit down with them and talk about it, and they'll tell you one way or the other. Hope that helps.
Oh, thank you, Rose Blue. And I love that you have such caring heart for your parents. Thank you so much for letting us tap into your situation. And we wish you all the best. Come back and let us know how you're doing, sweetie, because that's a lot. Yeah, that was a lot. That was a big thing this morning, too. I know. So more reason for us to stick together and help each other out, okay? Especially given that a lot of people in this country are reliant on Social Security right now. So we're really worried about our elderly. We're worried about our LGBTQ community. We're worried about uh, our working class, because we don't have a middle class left. So there's like a lot going on. So we're just leaning on each other and being there for each other is so big right now. Okay, so we have one more tipper, and then we'll go into lightning round unless we receive another donation. And it is Lily Rose. So let me find your question, Lily Rose. Another Rose. I love it. Okay, so her question is, should I sign a lease to move community tomorrow? My problem is noisy neighbors. I'm hoping for better luck. From 2133 to 1085. Now, just to let everybody know, Venus is in Gandanta. What is a Gandanta? It's between water and fire signs, specifically the Abukta Mula Gandanta. That's between Scorpio and Sagittarius. Doing anything material right now is not recommended until the 8th. Okay. The reason, and that's for everybody in the audience. Now, for you, Lily Rose, you're really pretty. I love that photo of you. I got Pluto and I got Moon. So that's kind of a no. Pluto is also Yama, god of death, things like that. The United States just had its 248th year with Yama, our Pluto return here in this country. And the moon represents our emotional self, our inner self, the self that we show. It's also our intuition and things like that, our emotions. It rules the third eye. The reason I say third eye is they're asking you to change. There needs to be a change or a literal death in your perception and towards something new. I did go ahead and pull cards for both places anyway. The first card I got for 2133, I got the reversed Hierophant. This tells me that the landlord might be immoral, not doing the right thing, not following the laws. Okay. The second one, I got a little better card. That's 1085. I got the Page of Pentacles. Okay. So it's a better use of maybe your money or a better financial decision. But I kind of gotta know for both, because you need to change your perception a little bit, because we've just had a big event happen worldwide. Okay. And with that energy comes a slight shift in our perception. And this is for everybody, because we're all going through this right now, but specifically for you, sweetie. So remember that nature is always trying to maintain some types of balance. That's what the yin and the yang represent. And it's only our perception and labels that cause us to think otherwise. So you're viewing the next step in your life from a very rigid perspective, and they're asking you to expand out of that, because we just saw an enormous shift. We're going to see more of this shift between November 14th and 16th, okay, in the world. They're saying cultivate the ability to kind of step out of any drama in your situation, especially regarding the neighbors. And okay, they're pretty intolerable. That's what they're showing me. But if you take a different viewpoint, it'll shift your judgment of this person from intolerable to it is what it is. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. We have a neighbor situation upstairs, and they jump off the furniture sometimes even at 4 in the morning. It's insane. It's a lot. So I literally will wear earplugs or headsets around the apartment during the day, during the night, wherever, because it's so loud up there. So you can get a white noise machine, something like that. But they're saying that right now is probably not the best time to move. You need to do a little bit more research. You need to develop a little bit different perception. So letting go of that tether will hold you to a certain, that's holding you to a certain viewpoint, is going to free you from the situation and allow something to open up to you in a more natural way instead of you trying to force it. So they're basically trying to get you back into balance, and they're giving you some signs and symbols to help you there. Again, the second apartment's a little better, but this is not the best time to move, astrologically and according to the cards. So, yeah, I hope that was helpful. I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you, and thank you so much for letting us tap in, Lily. I really appreciate it.
Hi, Lily. I probably already mentioned 3 dozen times that I used to be a real estate broker, and it's yeah, that's a there's a lot going on in this situation. There's the parent aspect, there's the noisy neighbor aspect, the landlord's in a class action lawsuit. The thing that really the thing that I really wonder about is moving in with your parent. I mean, obviously, probably at one point you were living with your parents since you're their child, but how long has it been since you were resident in their house for more than just like a long weekend or something? If you're used to living with them on a regular basis, it's one thing. If you haven't lived with your parents for 20. I don't think she mentioned parents. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I think I was.
That was rose blue.
Oh, okay. Well, I have just crossed my roses up. So without the parent, so we're just talking about noisy neighbors where you are, and you're hoping for better luck. Where I was going with this conversational thread was the term luck. Again, I was a real estate broker for a long time, and I can tell you the last thing that you want to rely on is luck. You need to determine if you're moving into a community that does not have noisy neighbors or not. So you're going to have to get a little snoopy. Now, you're looking at signing a lease tomorrow. So if I were you and I were in this position and I was looking at signing a lease tomorrow, I would go to that community tonight, and I would sit in my car, and it's 7 o'clock where we are. It's probably later where you are. I would just sit there for an hour and see what happened. If it's a large apartment complex or if it's just a house with 3 apartments or something, I would get some sense of it. Honestly, I would, if it were me, I would probably ask if I could hold off on the decision for another week. Now, if it's a hot rental situation where you have to take that apartment and it's otherwise meet all of your criteria, price, location, access to resources and stores and things, and you want to take a chance that there aren't noisy neighbors, if you have more than 3 apartments other in the complex, you're probably going to have noisy neighbors. That's just the nature of it. If I were to if this were my decision and I had to decide by tomorrow, I would definitely go over tonight and I would just park in front of it and see what happens for about an hour at the minimum, you know. The other thing is, have you done anything prior to this? Have you talked to other people in the apartment? Have you walked around the neighborhood? Yeah, I'm sorry about the parent thing. I was still thinking about the previous issues. Um, so it's just you got that. But still, you need to determine that the place that you're going is not the same or worse than where you are now. That's the whole point of moving. And the last thing you want to do is to just take a blind jump into another apartment and assume that everything's going to be okay. Because I'm guessing where you are now, you signed, and either the neighbors changed or they were quiet when you were there, and then at night they go crazy. So you need to either go by tonight and just assume that one night's evidence is all you need, or ask for a couple of days to think about it. If it's a hot market, you may not have that option. And then you're forced with either jumping to a place where you don't know if it's going to solve your problem, or looking for someplace else and staying where you are for a while, if that's an option. So you live in the community now and you feel that it's okay. Is this like another building in a multi-building community and you're moving far enough away from the neighbors you're trying to get away from? Prices change daily. Well, that's real estate, you know. Well, if you're living in this community, you should be somewhat aware of that building or that part of the complex, I'm guessing. So this isn't completely cold for you. The other thing you might do, and again, I used to be a real estate agent, you get used to just crossing all sorts of boundaries when you're working with clients. You might just go over to the place you're thinking of moving and knocking on a door that is not the place, not the apartment that you're thinking of. If anyone answers, you just say, hey, I'm thinking of moving into this building. Is it really quiet? Is it, are there any problems? And people will, surprisingly, people will almost always give you an honest answer, like, oh gosh, the guy on the third floor is just a monster. His bass thumps through the apartment all night. So I would go by, knock on a couple of doors, prior to your signing appointment, and see what's up. And if nobody answers in that building, go to the next building and say, hi, I'm thinking about moving in this community. What do you know about that building over there? Can you hear it from here? Is it noisy or cars coming and going? But I would, again, this is just me. I tend to be a little conservative about that, because that's where you're going to be living. You're going to be spending more than half your day there, even if you're sleeping during the most part of that. You don't want to move into a worse situation. You're already trying to move from a situation. You don't want to go through the expense of moving and then end up in the same or worse. You could save money by staying where you are, but we know what it's like to live next to noisy neighbors. We know what it's like on two sides. So, and again, if you were a real estate client, I would go over and do that for you, but I don't do that anymore. So, and it's probably 1,000 miles anyway. So definitely try before you buy. I hope that's some help.
Thank you, Jonathan, and thank you for joining us, Lily Rose. We really appreciate your energy, and best of luck in developing that new perception and moving forward in a way that's best for you. So please come back and let us know how you're doing. We really appreciate your energy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have lightning round, guys. Sinead, welcome. Good from Great Britain. Welcome, welcome. It's a little late there. Oh my goodness. And she says, good idea. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for the feedback, Lily. We really appreciate that. Oh, yeah, Rosie's, that's our dog. She's jumping up over there. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and call some people in the audience for lightning round. I'm going to pull a couple of cards for you, okay? Miss Bell X, are you here? Tarot Stash, Cowbell, are you here? Moonfox Knight, I think she bagged out. Lucy, are you here? Emily, are you here? Keith, are you here? Mary, are you here? Amanda, are you here? Shawana, are you here? And Fun Boy, are you here? Rushdie, are you here? Keith, we see you. Are you here? Charity, are you here? Shem, are you here? And Linda Rose, are you here? Can any of you please check in? The first person that checks in gets their question answered. Woohoo, lightning round. I noticed there's a lot less people in the chat because we went a long time. So yay, Shem's first. Woohoo! And then we have Linda Rose. Okay. All right, Shen and then Linda. And you are so welcome, Lily Rose. We really appreciate you. And so, oh, and everyone, if you haven't subscribed, Jonathan's channel is in the subscription. It's the Boomer Mill. So we encourage you guys to do that as well. So he's going to be doing more shows with me in the future, I think, because we're going to be spending a lot of time together moving forward this next month. So, okay, Lucy is here. So thank you so much for checking in. So I will get to the lovely Shem and then Linda and then Lucy. And then Jonathan, I'll just let you just say a couple of things, or what do you think? I'll just do a quick couple cards. I mean, you can just give a quick one and then we'll move on to the next person. Okay, sounds good. Okay. So, because we're in the same room and going back and forth is different. Oh, thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Right. So let me find Shem. Shem's question. I know you came in a little. There you are. I would like to know what the angels have for me if you have time. Okay, so let me go to my karma cards first. This will give me an idea of what area they want you to focus on. Okay, sweetie? And congratulations with all the jewelry sales. That's big stuff. Okay, you're looking to travel. This has been stalking my clients for the past 2 weeks. That's why I just looked at Marina on her show last week and just went, I don't think it's going to work, sweetie. And she was like, okay, okay. It was a lot. I'm going to go to my, let's see, do I have my angel cards? I do have my angel cards. All right. So I got 8th house, that's Scorpio, and then I got the 9th house of travel. So a lot of transformation is going to be coming your way, and the angels are going to be encouraging you to expand your horizons, okay? How are they going to expand your horizons? Okay, a happy outcome. There's some brilliant new ideas that are coming your way. I got the sun. This is Archangel Uriel. You can look up this specific angel. This is the one helping you. A happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success, and having confidence in yourself. So you're asked to step into a time where you are a leader, where you are asserting your needs, your vitality, what you would like to see in your life. And look at those beautiful sunflowers. I love that for you. So I'm getting a lot of sun, a lot of light energy, a lot of really good things regarding pulling you out of the more stuck energy of Scorpio and into that 9th house energy of travel, of expansion, of things like that. You're so welcome, sweetie. Are you picking up on anything?
I'm picking up that Shem needs to be more assertive and also trust yourself a little bit more. I mean, not to the point where you're impulsive, but oh, fell down the stairs on Saturday. Well, that'll change your day.
The sun's all about health.
Yeah. So definitely take care of that, you know. And I say this as a guy who didn't take care of something for a few decades, and it really, I'm still alive, but that's just other people helped me to stay alive because I delayed getting treatment for so long. But yeah, for sure, if you even think that you bruised or cracked or broke anything, definitely get some treatment. But also, what came into my mind just jumped in was trust but verify, which is from a guy who was actually a famous crook, but it was a very, very, oh, good, going to physio, excellent. Anytime you're making any type of change, and except maybe trying a different brand of soup or something, you really need to verify before you make any type of decision in this world that we're in now. Promises are rarely kept. Things are rarely what they seem, and expectations are regularly broken. So the sense that I'm getting is that when you need to be efficient and careful in what you're doing going forward. You know, yeah, honestly, that's good advice in any case. So it's not a breakthrough, but that's what just popped into my head. It's just trust but verify. You know, you can still be cheerful, you can still be friendly, you can still, but and you can still check out everything to make sure that what you're being told is accurate. And yeah, I've fallen and broken stuff, so get it checked out.
Okay. Oh, we hope that was helpful, Shem. And yeah. I'm glad that you liked it. Wonderful. Okay. So I'm sending you lots of love as you heal. I got the sun card, so your recovery is well on its way. They showed me a series of car accidents that you were in, and they're relating it to one of your planets. It might be Ketu, but he's headless. So just trying to be more present and mindful can kind of help with that area too. I know that when I'm in Ketu subdasha, I tend to get into accidents and things because mine's in Gandanta. So I'm with you. So just trying to maintain a more presence in your environment is what they're telling me. So hi Sarah. Sarah, we're doing great. It's good to see you. Great sunshades. Those are fabulous. And you're so welcome, Shem. Thank you. All right. So we have been on for 3 hours, so questions are closed, guys. Okay, because we've been here for 3 hours. The reason why is because Jonathan is a beast. He can do this for a while, which is fantastic. So I'm going to do Linda Rose because you checked in, and then we'll get to Lucy. So Linda Rose, hello, my daughter would love to start her family. Do you see little souls coming through? Okay. All right. No, not yet. Okay. Let me pull some clarifiers. Okay. I got Saturn and I got the South Node. Those are two no cards. Saturn blocks and the South Node is just that's attachments. Okay. So there might be something going on there. So let's look into that. I know we just had a major change in our country. I'm not really sure what's going on there. Okay, so there's some fortune that's about to change. Okay, that it's going to require a lot of transformation. Now, the death card is not a physical death. Okay, it represents that it's transformation. But I got the reverse wheel of fortune. So now is not the most fortunate time to start a family. Okay, I say that with love for entertainment purposes only, but the guides are basically saying not now. Oh, okay. A car just flew across the room. And I can't find it. Okay, well, give me a second. Oh my goodness. I don't know where it went. Okay, there it is. Oh, okay, got it. Now I see what's going on. All right, it flew underneath my desk. And this is the card I got for you. I got the Two of Swords. So answers found through meditation could help, but I got that the things that the 3D right now is not fully supported when it comes to the extending the family. Okay, Linda Rose. It can be maybe later, but just not right now. I got reconsider. I got Saturn energy. Okay, so it's just not a good time for the little souls to pop in quite yet. All right, sweetie. Okay, so I'm wonderful, Sarah. Okay, so let's go to the lovely Lucy. Okay, Lucy, let me find your question. And thank you all so much for waiting. I really appreciate your patience. You have been wonderful. Okay, Lucy, may I have a reading? What do I have coming up with finances and career? Okay. So let's see. Oh, and if you have anything, Jonathan, you're welcome to pop in. Okay. So let's see. Okay, they want you to travel. It's like my stalker card for all of my readings in the last 2 weeks, guys. And they want you to travel for work. I got 9th house and I got 10th house. I'm not sure what you do for work, Lucy, but they're saying that traveling while you're doing this could bring in more money, more opportunities, things like that. There might be another something for you moving during. Oh, Keith, you're here. You checked in. Okay, we'll do a quick card for you too. Okay, sweetie. We called everybody and I didn't see you, so I appreciate you checking in before we sign off. Okay, So, all right. They don't want you to be impulsive. Okay. Look where you're going, make really strong decisions, do your research. You don't want to be falling off the cliff like this fool. Okay. Because this is the little dog's not happy and he's not paying attention to where they're going. They want you to act like an emperor, literally. Take full control of every aspect required regarding your finances and career, especially if it's going to involve travel, and take it from the mindset of a king, of an emperor. For the uh, for this type of energy to occur, you're going to have to really step up and be self-confident and maintain important boundaries regarding contract work, especially if it's involving travel. Okay, so that's what I got for you. You might have to look outside the box there. Okay. Oh, and that's fine. Okay, good. Yeah, I know we're still live. So, let's see. Okay, Keith, I'll go ahead and do your question real quick because you checked in, but questions are closed, guys, because we've been here for 3 hours and 20 minutes. We did a little extra time for you guys because it's been a traumatic day for a lot of us, okay? So, will this music thing ever work out? All right, let me look for you, Keith. I got the moon. You're very, very emotionally attached to this. Feelings, reactions, like you're really, this tells me that your music comes from your heart. That's really beautiful, Keith. Okay, the main thing, energy I got regarding the career is you need to balance your career with your home life. Okay, that is going to bring out that's going to bring out some better music, and it's also going to make the things around the house a little more let's see, a little more balanced, because there's an imbalance between home and career. Oh, you're welcome, Lucy. Thanks for your feedback. Appreciate you. Okay, because there's been some disappointment. What the guys are saying is, if you balance the home, you balance the career with a little bit more temperance, like you're paying attention to everybody, and making sure that everything is copacetic, things will get better musically for you. But they're trying to point out that the home life might be a little neglected here, and they're asking you to tap in, especially after what just happened in the world. So it's important to connect with the people in your home, and that will bring more opportunities. But right now you're experiencing a little disappointment in that area because they're trying to balance out that uneven energy dynamic. Are you getting something, Jonathan? You're nodding.
Yeah. I come from a musical family. In fact, I'm the only person in the family. I had two brothers, and I was the only one that didn't perform professionally for years, if not the entire career. The middle brother was a band teacher he taught other subjects as well, but he was also the band teacher in high school and junior high or middle school, it depends on where you are, for decades. And he was a talented musician. My oldest brother was also a brass instrument player who was in the Navy performance band, I think it was called. This is the one that they send all over the world to represent the Navy, because these guys are the best of the best. They just happened to be in the Navy at the time. So working out in the music thing, working out, if you're wondering, is it going to make a living for you, you're going to have to treat it like a business, because it's not like you're going to get, unless or if you're in a group that's spectacularly popular, that's a whole different thing. But if, as a single musician looking for work, if that's your situation, you have to treat it like a job. You have to look for job announcements. You have to look for places where you can perform. You have to perform for free so that people see you. You have to children's parties and birthdays and things like that. You have to get out there. It's a job to have a job like that on top of your music job. So I know that my brother, when he before he became a full-time music teacher, used to work like shows, entertainment, and again, birthday parties. It's surprising how many people will hire a 4 or 5 piece band for somebody's 50th birthday or 60th birthday or 5th birthday. So I get the sense that you probably are a good enough musician to make it a career, but you've got to cross a line. You have to step over the line and say, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this music thing. And you make contacts, you look in papers, you look for magazines, actually online. What am I doing? Magazines, good Lord. Yeah. Look for etchings in rocks. Look online for musical opportunities where the people will just advertise, hey, we're looking for a trombonist. And you go and you play with them and they say, hey, you're pretty good. I know this guy over here, he's looking for a trombonist for his job. You got to get in the gig circuit to get a gig. So if you really want it to work out, you have to work it. Probably not the first person to say that, but it is true. Hope that helps.
Oh, thank you for joining us, Keith. And we really do hope that the music does work out for you. But yeah, that work-life balance is always homework balance is always a challenge, especially in today's world. Welcome, Celtic Seer. Welcome, Kriti. Welcome, Chaley. And thank you for joining us, Moonfox Night. It was lovely to see you. Okay. And then Sarah, because I know you're still here, I pulled one quick card for you before we sign off, okay? And you asked about Terry. I got that you need to kind of stop obsessing about things a little bit, okay? I got the Nine of Wands reversed. Basically, just be aware that during this period, there's a risk of being taken advantage of. Someone you love or admire may try to discourage your independence or make you feel ungrateful. So don't let any unhealthy influences sway your decisions. Stay true to yourself. And they're saying don't give up on relationships prematurely, but also don't cling to relationships that are no longer bringing you joy and that love. Okay, so there's a little bit in you that's just like they're showing me your spirit. They're saying that a strong sense of self-discipline can lead to disappointment if you don't meet your own high standards, regardless of the outcome. So they're saying really stay true to yourself regarding relationships in general. Okay, but those are just the kind of things to watch for, and we all struggle with that a little bit. Okay, so that was it, guys. Yeah, so Celtic Seer, we've been on for 3.5 hours, so we are questions are closed. But you are welcome to, you guys are welcome. I have my astrocartography session up on my website. I also offer career readings. I lowered the cost of a few of my readings and I created an emergency reading tab as well because it has been a very busy couple of weeks for all of us in the collective. I'm having the amazing Jane the Seeker Tarot on next Wednesday, so make sure to follow that. Jonathan and I host a show called The Boomer Mill. He's a boomer, I'm a millennial, and we just talk about what's going on in the area and what we're doing to try to, stay above water. So thank you, Celtic Seer. I appreciate it. And I want to thank everyone who stayed because this was a really long show. I want to thank my husband, Jonathan, for sticking it out. I love you, honey. Is there anything you want to share with the audience before we sign out, sweetheart?
It seemed like a common thread tonight was that people were sort of doubting themselves and doubting their perceptions. And it's good to verify, again, trust but verify, but also be true to yourself. You're having these responses to things for a reason. You just need to determine what is that reason. Am I nervous? Is it wrong? So you're getting a reaction. Just assume the reaction is a reaction. Find out what it is a reaction to, and that will solve a lot of the anxiety that comes from making or not making a decision.
Okay, thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that advice, and I hope you guys did too. We're sending you all tons of love. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Boomer Mill, and we will see you next week. Take care, everyone.